can contact us. You can email or call us directly from the AM 560 mobile app on your smartphone.
There are so many ways. Here's the thing. I feel so guilty right now. I think that we should all, I know Matt Damon visited Mars in a movie. I think we should all just repair to Mars, all of us, because of our white privilege. And that includes the Jews, too, which I am a member of.
No, you're not. You're Jewish?
Mani Shtana Halayla Hazeh.
Have been
Because
for a
today
long
I'm
time.
working. Okay, here's the thing. We should all go to Mars and let them take over. And then, when they, make a mess of it, then we could even feel guilty on Mars.
Well, last night, Donald Trump was in the great state of Michigan. That's what we have to say around here because a lot of people are from Michigan.
Or have second homes.
Yeah, and he, again, attacked Hillary Clinton. This is starting to feel more like a general election than a primary.
Hillary, that's not a president. She's not taking us to everything that's been involved in Hillary has been losses. You take a look, even a race to Obama, she was going to beat Obama. I don't know who'd be worse. I don't know. How does it get worse? But she was going to beat, she was favored to win, and she got schlonged. She lost. She lost.
Schlonged.
Trump is at 41% in a national poll, and also there is a study.
But he's in second place in the state of Iowa.
In Iowa. He's like Budweiser. They were never number one in any of the markets, but they're number one overall. Of course, that could be the recipe for finishing second in the general election, too. But be that as it may, there is a story that says the polls may actually underestimate Trump's support. A lot of people don't like to be honest in the polls, and then they go to the polls, and then they vote for somebody like Trump. That it's a possibility. And Obama says, and I think Obama's analysis is kind of correct if you look at it in a benign way as opposed to the Obamian way, which is that Trump is playing on the fears of blue-collar Americans, of white blue-collar Americans. The problem is they have much to fear. They're being aced out of jobs. They're being aced out of jobs by people like Marco Rubio with these visas. It's a very difficult situation. You know that the suicide rate among white blue-collar workers is very, very high. White blue-collar working class people.
Blue-collar or
white
blue-collar? I didn't know that you can combine the white and the blue.
The white working class. You're right.
Okay.
White. Yes, blue and white is the color of Israel. The white working class. The white working class is
Really?
the suicide rate is very high. There's a lot of despair. There's a lot of people on disability, on phony disability claims, because they can't get jobs anymore. Now, actually, there is some good news on the horizon.
But that's their job to defraud the government.
It is their job.
Can I tell you real quickly, as a reporter, how many times I went out to scenes in neighborhoods, affluent neighborhoods, not so nice neighborhoods, and people would always say to me, "Oh no, you can't videotape me. I'm on disability."
Exactly. They're playing golf
or mowing their lawn. One guy was swimming in his side pool, like an above ground pool, and and he said, "No, you can't shoot video. I'm on disability," and he's drinking beer, laying out in the sun, lounging around on a raft. But that's a story with it in itself.
I used to be a personal injury attorney, and
really?
you'd always want to check to see if the guy who was making the claim that he was injured, had suffered a permanent injury. You send an investigator out, take video of the guy mowing the lawn or playing golf or something. So people lie, and there's.
But should politicians be lying? Because now with the internet and so many bloggers and people foiling information, they're getting caught in their lies.
Well, thank goodness for the internet, the democratization of the media. We wouldn't have been able to expose a fraud like Dan Rather, for example, because some guy who was an expert on a blog somewhere was able to determine that the basis on which Rather was accusing George Bush of trying to get out of military service or whatever was a phony document that was made on Microsoft. And, of course, George Bush was pre-Microsoft. Hey, just locally here, it was this 29-year-old kid from Ohio who on Gawker, or The Guardian, excuse me, who may bring down Rahm Emanuel. It wasn't NBC5 investigates, we take no for an answer.
No.
So yeah, thank goodness for the democratization of the media.
Well, Donald Trump, back to Grand Rapids, Michigan. He didn't stop there with schlodeling. What was the word that he used? What did Hillary? Schlonging.
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 I don't know if we can say that.
Well, we have said it. And schlonged. Excuse me. Thank you, guys. It's schlonged. Do you have a definition for schlonged, Bruce Wolf?
Our unabashed dictionary and Playboy? I don't know. It's the extension of a lie, I guess.
Well, Donald Trump didn't like that Hillary took an extended bathroom break during Saturday's debate.
I know where she went. It's disgusting. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, as if he doesn't use the commode. I mean, please.
I thought she was shaking down potential donors in the Democratic audience.
I thought she was sending emails.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the problem. Hillary is going to face a major problem if the general election has anything to do with foreign affairs. And nobody had anticipated that. And still, a year out from now, it's less than a year now, it's going to be who knows what the actual election will be about. She wants it to be about domestic policy because she can promise the middle class stuff that she can never deliver on. But if people are nervous about what's going on in the world, usually you don't trust the Democrats to take care of things.
No,
they wind up getting us into
wars.
But a lot
of Jewish people that I know are diehard Democrats. Except for one that it switched to the right side. They said we don't like the relationship between President Obama and Benjamin Netanyahu. We don't like the way the country's going, so we're switching.
And
they get a lot of heat for doing it.
It was either I can't remember if it's Irving Kristol or Norman Potteritz, one of those old neocons who said the Jews are the only people who live like Episcopalians but vote like Puerto Ricans. So, yeah, it's a guilt thing with them. Oh, no, we should give and not vote in our self-interest. And okay, fine.
So who should apologize to who? Donald Trump demanding an apology this morning from Hillary Clinton.
Well, somebody said, I think it's Kevin Williamson of National Review, he said it was one pathological liar demanding an apology from another pathological liar.
And here's another pathological liar, Brian Fallon, who's Hillary's campaign spokesman.
The person that needs to apologize in this matter is Donald Trump for his hateful, bigoted rhetoric towards Muslim Americans.
Booyah!
Yeah. Meanwhile, Trump says, so you get Rand Paul, who comes up with the solution, well, we should discriminate on the basis of geography. So don't let the people come in from these certain countries. In other words, make the whole world like the TSA, where we pat down everybody because we're trying to look for the few Muslims who will be able to get the box cutters in anyway because, TSA doesn't even know how to do it. The problem, as Mark Stein has said, and if I quoted and attributed enough people...
you love Mark Stein.
Yeah, I love Mark Stein. But here's the thing. It's not illegal immigration that's the problem. That is a problem. It's legal immigration because Mark Stein knows that you can lie on immigration forms. They don't check things, and that's the problem right now. Look who's getting through. I mean, the terrorist in San Bernardino, parentheses around the second R, because it's not necessarily pronounced. They were supposedly vetted. Well, the government isn't coming through. And then here's the thing. Everybody loves Donald Trump about something and hates himself for it. Because even a guy like Jonah Goldberg, a National Review, who's been personally attacked by Donald Trump, said at the end of his G-file this week that he said, people are getting the sense that the government doesn't really care about taking care of us, about protecting us, which is the first order of business. And that's why they're gravitating towards somebody like Donald Trump, who is actually serious about it, and you wonder if anybody else is.
Sorry.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And now it's time for a little look at the weather. Today is areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle. That used to be my radio name, by the way. Otherwise, rather cloudy, a high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. On Friday, Christmas Day, times of clouds and sun, a high of 44, low of Friday night of 34. Now, for a check of traffic, here's Dominic Fortini.
Still looking good across most of the Chicagoland area. That fog not going to cost you any time so far. Eden's quiet, so is the inbound Kennedy. 20 minutes O'Hare into downtown. Outbound ride also incident-free on the Kennedy. Stevenson quiet, so is the Ryan. 15 minutes 95th into downtown. Watch for some minor delays along the CTA green, orange, and pink line trains after some earlier police activity near Randolph and Wabash. Everything else rolls well. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you living with prostate enlargement? Do you pee more often than you used to? Do you wake up to go? Be honest. Is there a drop in your romantic life? Prostate problems don't go away on their own. So you need to call for a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 non-prescription formula for your prostate. The ingredients are natural. With Super Beta Prostate, you'll have less urges to urinate, less waking at night, and an improvement in your romantic life, guaranteed. Try it for free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-317-7853. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Stop running to the bathroom and call us now for your free bottle. Hurry, this free offer won't last. Just call 1-800-317-7853. That's 1-800-317-7853. 1-800-317-7853.
This is Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Policy Institute. 97. That's the percentage of Chicago Teachers Union members who voted yes in a recent mock vote. Yes, they voted. They are prepared to go out on strike for the second time in 4 years. The annual average CPS teacher salary is just under $80,000. And that's before you include their health insurance benefits and guaranteed 7-figure pensions. The bankrupt, junk-rated Chicago public schools spend more than $15,000 annually per pupil, and yet 75% of 4th and 8th graders are neither proficient in reading nor math. This in a system of nearly 400,000 students. So who's the bad guy here? Is it the teachers union or the mayor's office? Yes, there are no white hats in the story of central planners from City Hall fighting with the central planners from the teachers union over who gets to be the lead central planner at CPS. If the teachers strike, they deserve to be unlocked from their jobs. CPS students deserve access to schools that will give them the opportunity to earn an education that sets them on a course for success in life. The only way that happens is if the adults inside CPS, the parents, and the adults outside CPS, state political leaders, change the flow of money away from central planners and to families so that they may make the same choices for their children that Tiny Dancer did for his kids matriculating at the University of Chicago Lab School. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Propp.
A research institute is seeking a senior engineer to support a testing laboratory and other science and engineering-based projects. Apply complex technical, scientific, and engineering background to complete major complex assignments as a project manager and apply in-depth knowledge to problems that require novel approaches and sophisticated research techniques. Candidates must possess a master's degree in engineering or materials science, plus 5 years experience in materials testing and ASTM standards related to test methods for piping infrastructure and permanent United States work authorization. Please send cover letter and resume to Jeremy Odehall, Director, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018. That address again for cover letters and resumes is Jeremy Odehall, Director, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, baby. Hey, you know, timing is everything in this world. For instance, sometimes babies are born as political ploys to help mommy or daddy win elections. And we found out yesterday, oh yeah, it's right here in my hands, that Chelsea Clinton announced that she is pregnant again with her second child.
Are you engaging in a conspiracy theory that Chelsea Clinton would deliberately time having a baby for when's the baby due?
In the summer of 2016, late summer.
During the convention?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So then, you know, Hillary would be like, oh, do I go see my daughter in the hospital or do I do the DNC convention? No, of course she's doing it. But I'm suggesting something deeper than that.
You're that cynical?
Oh, yeah. I know that Rod Blagojevich and Patty, they became pregnant during his gubernatorial race to garner the female vote.
You know,
I know that for a fact. And it worked because then people, oh, look, they're pregnant. Look at this family compared to
are you
somebody else
serious?
who wasn't, who was he running against at the time? He didn't have a wife or kids. Pat Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was divorced.
Are you?
Oh, no. I do not
am
put
I
anything
naive?
past. I don't put it. No, this isn't Chelsea. This is Hillary telling Chelsea, hey, you want to get on that again? I need a second grandbaby. First one's not enough for me. I need two. They want to be surrounded on the stage
yeah, she
with
needs
a big
one right
family.
at you know, on the and I'd rather hear the baby crying than Hillary's acceptance speech.
This is how the announcement was made. Chelsea posted a picture on Facebook and of her 1-year-old daughter, Charlotte. She was holding a book called Big Sisters Are the Best, and then wrote, we're feeling particularly blessed and grateful this holiday season. Being Charlotte's parents has been the most joyous, meaningful, and loving experience of our lives, and we are very excited about our growing family in the new year.
Well, with 2 kids now, do you think Chelsea will have to go back to work to help out and maybe get that $600,000 a year job at NBC? As somebody who used to work for NBC, both of us.
Oh, yeah.
Horrified.
Did you?
I don't want to ask your salary or anything like that, but Chelsea turned in like about 6 stories or something like that.
No, she turned in 7 stories, and I watched all of them.
Over how much time?
What was a 9-month period?
9 months. The gestation of her career, the same as a pregnancy.
She did the Making a Difference segment, and she started talking like this.
7 stories, so over $100,000 per story she got.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure she worked very hard on each one of those stories.
Well, I'm sure it was a struggle because she didn't know what she was doing. And the first time you do anything, it's pretty scary and you need help. So then she did get a vocal coach.
Well, why didn't she start out in some, like hinterland? No, I'm not going to let you finish. Go ahead.
She did get a vocal coach, and so they tried to help her. And she did get a little bit better toward the end, but there was no there. If I was a news director and saw her demo reel, I'd be like, meh, pass. But because it's the name.
Well, she should have been an intern for you like Megyn Kelly was.
And Savannah Guthrie in Tucson.
How does that feel?
What do you mean? It feels fine. I love when my friends succeed and do
I hate
well.
that.
See, that's the difference
I hate
between
that when
you and me.
interns
Is that a gender difference or is
supersede you.
that just a moral difference?
I think it's, I think I got problems.
I mean, yesterday we had on Reverend Paul Hall, and you said, I'll donate my coat, but Amy, you have to drive it there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Because you're good at that kind of thing.
You could take some time and drive. From here, you can just hop on 355. You'd be right there. All it takes is 5 minutes, Bruce, to help so many.
Every child has a chance to live up to his or her God potential.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Imagine what you would do if your business had a surplus of utility savings. More than 30% of your building's annual energy use comes from your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. Air Comfort, Chicagoland's leading mechanical service provider, understands that you have better things to do with your money. There are new energy incentives offered by Chicagoland's largest utility provider that could help your business save hundreds, even thousands of dollars every month in utility costs. As a preferred partner, Air Comfort works closely with your business. They will identify the opportunities to reduce energy usage, select, purchase, and install equipment, and even help you complete and submit your incentive paperwork. Start saving on your utilities by calling now for your free consultation at 708-345-1900. That's 708-345-1900 or online at aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935.
You did it. That's right. Because of your generosity and support of our annual Feed the Children campaign, we were able to reach our goal of feeding over 18,000 children in and around the Chicagoland area this holiday season. Now, those are real families with real needs that you have helped to meet. We especially want to thank the many business benefactors who've stepped up in a big way. Now, when you hear their advertisements on this station in the coming months, we encourage you to support them as a way of saying thanks for their generosity. And just because we met our goal in 2015, that does not mean that the need has gone away. Hunger is still a real challenge for thousands of families and children in our area. So please continue to support Feed the Children with a tax-deductible gift of any amount at any time. Just go to feedthechildren.org. And thanks again from all of us here at AM 560, The Answer. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we'll be taking your calls on this. Would you take blood from a gay or bisexual man? The ban has been lifted. We'll explain. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. 41 degrees and arraignment scheduled today before a military judge for Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, who faces charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy while in Afghanistan.
Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is due to face a military judge at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, just over a week since being ordered to face a general court-martial on charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy, which carries a possible life sentence. Bergdahl is accused of leaving his post in Afghanistan before he was captured by the Taliban. He was held for 5 years and freed in a controversial prisoner swap for 5 Guantanamo Bay detainees. His attorney has argued he was suffering from a mental defect when he left his post. In a recent series of podcasts, Bergdahl has said he had leadership concerns, then second thoughts about leaving base, but got lost in the hills. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
A San Francisco Bay Area man in police custody this morning after officers acting on a tip descended on his home where a bomb squad safely detonated a possible explosive device. It's a double milestone for Elon Musk's private launch company, SpaceX. Company got back into the satellite launch business yesterday after an accident set it back last summer. But the remarkable part of the mission was the safe return of the 15-story leftover booster, which landed vertically at Cape Canaveral.
3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff of the Falcon 9.
First launch for SpaceX since a Falcon 9 rocket exploded shortly after liftoff over the summer. Officials in Oregon say the woman who slammed her car through a crowd on the Las Vegas Strip was driving on a suspended license. Las Vegas Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo says they're still digging into the background of Lakeisha Holloway's story.
Disassociation with the father of her child, and then events prior to the event, her being what we believe to be in Las Vegas approximately a week and homeless and residing within her vehicle.
Lakeisha Holloway killed one person and injured over 30 others when she drove up onto the sidewalk on the Strip on Sunday night. An Indian paramilitary plane has crashed outside New Delhi's main airport, killing all 10 on board. The plane belonged to India's Borders Security Force. People say a northern Indiana man was killed, his girlfriend injured in a shooting after the couple tried to rob two Illinois men who met them in Gary to buy a vehicle. Chicago fire back on the scene of an extra alarm warehouse fire on the city's northwest side. It blazed through the evening and into the overnight hours in the 3000 block of North Rockwell. So far, no one hurt. Brooklyn beat the Bulls 105-102. College hoops winners, Northwestern, Loyola, and Southern Illinois. Week 15 of the NFL season is over. My Lions beat the Saints 35-27 on Monday Night Football. The news service of Let Us Entertain You. Give the gift that fits all appetites, a Let Us Entertain You gift card. Receive a free $25 holiday bonus for every $100 in lettuce gift cards you buy. Simply visit a lettuce restaurant or LEYE.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
When all is said and done and the Obama administration rides off into the sunset, what one overwhelming theme will be the lasting impression? Here's one: asleep at the switch. While ISIS was making a rampage across the Middle East, we did nothing. While a Syrian dictator was killing 300,000 of his own people, we did nothing. When thousands of those same refugees came pouring across the border, we did nothing. Unfortunately, we were and still are asleep at the switch. So keep it here to learn what we can do about that. AM 560, The Answer.
Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right, as if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Harris-Nuon. I'm Dr. Amy and Associates. We take a team approach to your care. As an integrative and holistic healthcare practice, we look at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. We've got a wonderfully talented team of providers: family medicine, chiropractic, traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, counselors, psychiatrists, that's centered on your health and your wellness. We'll blend the best of Western medicine with the best of Eastern medicine. There's a time and a place for all forms of healing, and that's what we specialize in.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole-person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit dramyandassociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates, empowering people, changing lives.
5:36 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Very light traffic volume continues this abbreviated work week. Edens and Kennedy still rolling well. 20 minutes O'Hare to downtown. The inbound Kennedy 10 minutes in from the junction. Express lanes look good at 8. Inbound Stevenson, no hassles there. Inbound Ryan bulking up Right around Roosevelt, 17 minutes, 95th into downtown, inbound side of the Bishop Ford, a little slow as you approach Cottage Grove. Traffic's a service of Chicago Blue Cart Recycling. Did you know that using a plastic bag to throw items in your blue cart can ruin your recycling efforts? Lose the bag and keep the recycling. By throwing only recyclable materials into blue carts, you help prevent contamination and protect the environment. For more information, visit chicagorecycles.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle, otherwise cloudy on this first day of winter, high 45. 39 at O'Hare, 40 along the lakefront. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in this morning with us on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Health Quest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter or hear about it from your friends, find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
So I'm driving in my car.
And a man comes on the radio and tells me how white my shirt should be. A baby.
No,
Sorry.
that's not what happened. I was driving in my car yesterday, and I heard the news that the FDA is going to be lifting their decades-old ban on gays and bisexuals from donating blood. This ban started back in 1983, at the height of the AIDS crisis. Mm-hmm. And back then, they prohibited men donating blood if they had, at any point since 1977, had sex with another man.
Mm-hmm.
So now... they're easing this decades-old blood donation record, and I'm a little perplexed.
What are you perplexed about?
I mean, my face cringed, and I thought, ooh.
What's the problem? I mean,
do I want blood from a gay man?
Well, what if the blood is clean? I think you might be guilty of a hate crime if you don't take the blood.
312-642-5600. That's our turnkey.pro answer line, or send us a text at the turnkey.pro text line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment, or call or email us directly from the AM 560 mobile app on your smartphone. It's very uncomfortable to talk about.
But I don't know why it should be uncomfortable. I don't know why you're so discriminatory.
Because I think men are sexually deviant, and the stipulation...
But if they're clean...
No, the stipulation to this is they have to be clean, have not had sex with another man for at least a year.
How do you determine if they...
No, let me finish. You cannot have sex with another man for at least 1 year before you can donate blood. And I don't trust men, to tell the truth while they're filling out their forms and on their applications. And maybe there's something in their blood. It rubs me the wrong way. I'm here to protect not only myself because of my children, but to protect my children. And my children do visit Children's Lurie's Hospital a lot. And one has had a blood transfusion, and I want to have the right as a parent to ask the nurse or the doctor, where did this blood come from?
You don't trust. Next thing you're gonna tell me is you don't trust a Muslim coming into the country to say whether or not he's a terrorist.
Would you take blood? Say if you get in a horrific car accident on the way home from here.
I don't think I would.
Hypothetically, and you need a blood transfusion.
Just my own prejudice here, and I think I need to overcome it, and I probably need to go into some re-education seminar. I wouldn't take it from a gay man or a gay woman, but I would take it from a bisexual woman for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Stop it.
Hey-yo.
They said, now listen to this, the William Institute, which is a think tank group in UCLA, on gender identity law and sexual orientation, they said a year-long deferral process would lead to 185,800 additional donors who would likely give 317,000 pints of blood each year. So that would be a big uptake in blood donations. But sometimes people get paid to donate blood. Sometimes if you donate plasma, and they say that they screen the blood that's donated for HIV, but I don't trust that.
I think you've got to overcome your prejudices.
Am I being prejudiced? That's because am I being
no? I think you're
biased?
being. I think you're being sensible, and this is all. It's politically correct. But next thing you're going to tell me is that you don't even think that women should be serving in the Marines and combat divisions.
Only if they could perform as well as the men.
They can't.
Okay, then if they can't, then don't have them in.
They're going to be in because we're going to lower the standards because we don't care about winning wars. We care about being politically correct.
So you would take the blood from a gay or bisexual man. You would trust that person
Well,
who
how
I
did-
believe. So I have one friend. His name is Jaime, and he's HIV positive. Has been for a long time. Used to take 52 pills a day. Now he's down to 1 a day because technology is advanced and the FDA is advanced so much.
52 a day at $5,000 a pill is
52
is
pills a day. Now it's down to
250,000 a
1.
day.
And I said, do you think that this program? I mean, he could never donate blood, but I said, how do you feel about this program? And he said, honey, knowing what I know about the gay community, a lot of people, we aren't loyal to each other, and there is no way in the world I would want this to happen. But it's happening. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Let's go to Kent, who joins us from Hodgkins. Good morning, Kent. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm great. Thank you very much. I read the story yesterday, too, and I was completely blown away for 2 reasons. Number one is you're opening a classification of people that are at higher risk for blood-borne illnesses, first of all. And more importantly, people that have this AIDS virus, a lot of times it doesn't show up right away. And second of all, there's drugs that basically make it not show up at all. So for the other person to be saying that they'd be, comfortable taking blood, from a person like that, that's insane. You're opening yourself up to a risk that there's no reason for it. It doesn't make any rational sense to do that.
Well, do you have to disclose whether you're gay or not?
Oh, yes.
It has, absolutely.
Well, you can lie about that too, can't you?
Well, but look, if people are going to lie, giving blood is it's an act of kindness. You're not going to pay for it, so why would you lie when you're going in to get blood just to try to hurt somebody?
No, just so you can
You're right.
feel equal, so you're not discriminated against. It's all about making people feel good in this political correct society we live in now. It really makes me sick because I think you're putting other lives at risk.
Well, and this is a great example of that, too.
Let's make them feel better.
Good
Thanks,
call.
Kent,
Thanks,
for the phone
Kent.
call.
Yeah.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Let's go to Julia, who joins us from the north side. Good morning, Julia. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? I think it's outrageous that they're allowing gay men to give blood because they are putting so many people at risk. And I don't think that that's fair to people. I think instead people who, live healthy, normal lifestyles should give maybe extra blood so we don't have to come into this situation. But I think it's outrageous that they just want to do things to please people because they want to have equal rights. But, if it's going to come to making people sick, God forbid, that's not fair. To give people diseases, you don't know what can happen. And I would never want to take a risk, and I would never take, blood from a gay person. And I don't think it's fair what they're doing.
No, but do we sound homophobic by saying that? Because
Not
I'm not
at all, because
homophobic, but that's
no.
I agree with you.
I don't even like the word homophobic because I
No,
think it's
but you know what? Our
Julia,
life is what's more important. Like right now, this should be the concern. It's not about being homophobic. It's about our safety and our children's safety. And we all want to be healthy. And, we don't want to take chances. And
All right,
God
thanks,
forbid.
Thanks, Julia, for your phone call. I mean, there's 1 million people, Bruce, that are HIV positive in the U.S. 1 million
how does
people in
this
the U.S. are
compare to
HIV positive. And listen, they said that they're going to screen for HIV, but the virus can take 10 days to be detected in the bloodstream. 10 days?
I don't even know, like in the 80s during the height of this, how many were there and how many are there now?
I don't.
Well, I
they've
mean,
come a
that's
long way that
relevant,
if
isn't it? That's why they've
if you have
lifted the
full-blown
ban.
AIDS and you have HIV. Well, no, if you have HIV or AIDS, you cannot donate blood.
Right.
And hopefully you're honest with the person when you're donating the blood if for some reason you feel a need to donate blood. But they're saying they've had a ban on gays and bisexuals from donating blood since 1983.
Remember back in the AIDS scare, back in the 80s, that they were saying anybody can get it at any time? That was the politically correct thing to say at that time.
That was awful.
That's everybody thought they were going to die from that because anybody could get it at any time. No, you couldn't. Not really.
I was living in Spain. I had a student visa and was in San Sebastian, Spain, when Magic Johnson had back in Spain. It was called SIDA. That's the Spanish translation.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember walking to class and seeing every magazine, Magic Johnson con SIDA, Magic Johnson con SIDA. It's the first and only time ever our professor spoke English to us and said, Magic Johnson, SIDA means AIDS. And we all went, oh, because we didn't have the internet back then or email or TV. I didn't have a TV around in the apartment we lived in. So, and that's when she told us, she said, all of you, you must have protected sex.
Do we have time for a very quick Magic Johnson AIDS story or no?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I used to do this show called The New 930 on Channel 32, and I did the character Chet Chit Chat where I put on a wig and everything like that. Well, I was on the show one night, and I toss it to Kenny McReynolds, my reporter at the Chicago Stadium, and Magic Johnson's there, and he had just announced that he had the AIDS virus, and everybody thought it was a death sentence. Everybody thought he was going to die. Well, the thing was is that I had to ask Magic a question as Chet Chit Chat. This is a comedic character that I had.
And you had the wig on.
And I had to go, I go, Magic. And I can't believe that I have to do this because if anybody had seen it, thank goodness it was only on Channel 32, it would have been the worst moment in Chicago television because how can you have a puppet character asking Magic Johnson about AIDS? And Magic took the question because he couldn't see me. He was on remote. He didn't see me. And he probably thought I was Chuck Swirsky or something asking him a question. And he said, Chad, I'm just going through life, and I'm going to take it one day at a time. But it was just the most absurd thing in the world.
Was that his first interview after he made the big announcement?
It wasn't the first one, but it was, he was on the tour and everything like that. And thank goodness he's healthy and all that.
All right, so would you take blood from a gay or bisexual man? The FDA ban has been lifted. More of your phone calls coming up next. 312-642-5600. Grab a line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
3 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
What's the forecast?
Oh, what's the forecast? Okay.
Or are you going to do it in your Chet Chit
No,
Chat?
I'm not going to do it because I can't believe that actually happened on Chicago television. Chet Chit Chat, a puppet interviewing Magic Johnson about AIDS. All right. Today, areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle, otherwise rather cloudy. A high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. On Friday, Christmas Day, times of clouds and sun, a high of 44, a low Friday night of 34. Now it's time for a check of traffic. And here's Dominic Fortini.
Inbound side of the Kennedy slowing up between Foster and the Junction, 22 minutes. O'Hare into downtown, 10 in from Montrose. Express lane still a good choice. Eisenhower quiet. Inbound Stevenson, 37 minutes from 355 into Lakeshore. A few brake lights on as you approach Harlem into Kedzie. Inbound Ryan slows from 95th to 87th. And again, as you approach Roosevelt, 17 minutes from 95th into downtown. Inbound Bishop Ford starts to get a little tight between Cottage Grove and the Ryan, but everything else still getting the thumbs up this morning. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Well, the holidays are here, and if you're starting to decorate for the season, before you start trimming the tree completely, I want you to call our good friends over at Executive Green Carpet Cleaning at 708-599-5151. There's still time to have your carpet and upholstery cleaned before you have family and friends over for holiday dinners and gift exchanges. Now, Executive Green came to my house a few months ago. My carpet still looks newly clean. No joke. There's no stains or kitty marks where I'm putting my tree this year. Executive Green cleaning process is safe for your entire family. They use their own purified water, not water from your sink. And they have this non-toxic solution, a salt-based solution that leaves no sticky, chalky residue like the big yellow box company does. They also have a no-risk guarantee. So if you are not 100% satisfied, you will not pay for your service. So make your home beautiful for the holidays by scheduling now at 708-599-5151 or online at executivegreencarpetcleaning.com.
This holiday season, one of the best presents you can give is the gift of knowledge with a College Illinois 529 plan for your child or grandchild. Here's Eric Zarnikow, Executive Director of the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, to explain the benefits.
It's difficult to predict what's going to happen in the future, and that's one of the great things about a plan like College Illinois. And you're able to buy a future tuition today, and it's a 529 plan, so it brings some great tax advantages. And basically what you're able to do is buy future semesters of college at either community college plan, a university plan, which covers all the public universities. With the College Illinois plan, you have to have a beneficiary. The plan can actually be purchased by virtually anybody. The requirement is that either the purchaser or the beneficiary is a resident in Illinois. But we sell about 15 to 20% of our contracts to grandparents. I think it's incredibly important. What's greater than the future of your child or your grandchild and an opportunity for them to get an education? So one of the great things about College Illinois is you know what it's going to cost. You can lock that in today. And I talk with people all the time. I think it's important to start young. I've talked with contract holders when they had a newborn. They figured out what they could afford on their budget, and they bought one or two or a few semesters. And by the time their child was going to kindergarten, they already had part of college paid for. So a 529 plan really refers to a tax code section, and it basically means that the plans have certain tax benefits. So from a federal and state income tax perspective, basically the growth in the value of the plan is not taxed. In addition, in Illinois, there's an additional incentive in that you're able to get a state tax deduction, up to $10,000 per year for an individual or $20,000 per year if you're filing jointly.
Find out more about plan options for your family. Call 1-877-877-3724. That's 1-877-877-3724. Or visit collegeillinois.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Our turnkey .pro text line is fired up right now. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Nice song, hot-blooded. We're talking about, would you take blood from a gay or bisexual man? Because yesterday the FDA announced that the ban has been lifted. And here's the stipulation. If you're gay or bisexual, you have to wait 1 year after having sex with someone from your same sex before you can donate blood.
What do you do during that year?
Oh, my God. Will you stop it? All right, here's some more facts for you.
Give me the odds.
According to the Center for Disease Control, are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. The likelihood of HIV being contracted through a blood transfusion is 1 in 1.47 million cases. Right. But there's still that one. And they said that
there's a chance.
The blood is screened for HIV, but keep in mind the virus can take 10 days to be detected in the bloodstream.
Can I ask you a question?
I think this is just fraudulent.
What are the odds that your typical liberal couple living on the Gold Coast, okay, with their one designer child, and insists on having the nanny take the 6-year-old kid or whatever to the park because they're afraid that the kid will be abducted if he goes to the park by himself? What are the odds that the kid is going to be abducted?
I don't know, and
I'd say they're probably 1 in a billion or 1 in 10 million. But that same liberal couple will tell you that you should take blood from a gay person. Okay?
I see where you're going.
All right.
312-642-5600 is the number. Let's go to Bill, who joins us from LaSalle. Good morning, Bill.
Hi, good morning. Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
Nice. Thanks for taking the call. Number one, one comment, then what I did. I think Magic Johnson was 10 times the hero that Charlie Sheen was, number one, because, at the time that Magic came out, just to throw that comment in there because you threw the Magic Johnson story out there, Bruce.
Sure.
But this whole thing coming from the FDA, well, I'm sure if you talk to thousands of nurses and doctors would tell you, this is from the same organization that told us we had nothing to fear about handling patients in the United States with Ebola. And then 2 nurses contracted it. I'm curious what the American Red Cross and the World Health Organization has to say on this also.
Well, the American Red Cross said that they estimate there's 15.7 million blood donations made every year and that they are deferring to the FDA. That's essentially their boss. And that's just another Obama administration government oversight, a government group that's telling us what to do just because people feel bad if they don't donate blood. It doesn't make sense.
Every department of this government has been turned into a political correctness machine.
Yep.
And we are in definite danger, and I would not take blood.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Everywhere you go, the threat looms. It follows you no matter what you do. The longer you avoid the IRS and the financial difficulties you're going through, the closer they get to you. John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box Law Firm can help you end the feeling of being hunted by the IRS. If you've avoided taxes or could benefit from the life-saving assistance of bankruptcy, it's time you call John DeWatt. This is an attorney who is willing to take on the federal government on your behalf. He has worked to discharge thousands of dollars in penalties, and he can help you settle your debts once and for all. Call 888-777-4193. Let the hunters become the hunted. Let John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box Law Firm deal with the IRS personally. Call John for your own relief plan. 888-777-4193 or online at thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com. That's thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com.
This is Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Policy Institute. 97. That's the percentage of Chicago Teachers Union members who voted yes in a recent mock vote. Yes, they voted. They are prepared to go out on strike for the second time in 4 years. The annual average CPS teacher salary is just under $80,000. And that's before you include their health insurance benefits and guaranteed seven-figure pensions. The bankrupt, junk-rated Chicago public schools spend more than $15,000 annually per pupil, and yet 75% of 4th and 8th graders are neither proficient in reading nor math. This in a system of nearly 400,000 students. So who's the bad guy here? Is it the teachers union or the mayor's office? Yes, there are no white hats in the story of central planners from City Hall fighting with the central planners from the teachers union over who gets to be the lead central planner at CPS. If the teachers strike, they deserve to be unlocked from their jobs. CPS students deserve access to schools that will give them the opportunity to earn an education that sets them on a course for success in life. The only way that happens is if the adults inside CPS, the parents, and the adults outside CPS, state political leaders, change the flow of money away from central planners and to families so that they may make the same choices for their children that Tiny Dancer did for his kids matriculating at the University of Chicago Lab School. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
If you suffer from depression, consider TMS, an incredible new advancement in treating and relieving depression.
I'm Gina, and I suffered with depression for 19 years. And like most people, I tried medications and I couldn't tolerate the side effects, and they never worked properly for me. TMS was a great thing. It helped me out so much. Now I have the sparkle back in my eyes, and I'm able to feel great about life again. It worked really great for me, and I would absolutely recommend it to anybody suffering with depression.
TMS, or transcranial magnetic stimulation, is a safe, non-invasive, and highly effective treatment for drug-resistant depression. Most insurance companies cover TMS, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Medicare. Depression can be beaten, and without drugs. To schedule a free consultation, call Theramind at 847-562-5868 or go to tmsmind.com.
You may think being totally blind is the greatest challenge I face, but actually, it's the fact that I'm often wide awake at 3 a.m. and struggling to stay awake in the middle of the day. This is called Non-24, and it affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind, like me. It makes just getting through the day a real struggle. Learn more about Non-24 by calling 855-856-2424 or visiting learnmorenon24.com.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
This holiday season, give the most eternal unique gift of the year. Name a star after someone. I'm Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, we'll name a star after anyone on your gift list. The star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office, and we will send an incredible personalized gift package. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com for the gift that shines forever.
A family is slamming a grand jury probe of a jail cell death in Texas. Areas of fog in your forecast this morning. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He says he wanted to be like one of those heroes in spy movies. Instead, Bo Bergdahl will star in military court today. The U.S. soldier the Taliban captured in Afghanistan, then freed in a controversial prisoner swap, faces arraignment today.
If found guilty on the misbehavior before the enemy charge, Bergdahl faces life in prison. For the desertion charge, he could receive up to 5 years in prison. Today's arraignment is expected to be brief. Bergdahl and his defense team will likely enter a plea to the charges.
Fox's Kelly Wright. The Taliban's battling to try to take control of part of southern Afghanistan. Britain is going to send in some troops to be advisors to help government forces fight the militants. This the day after a Taliban bombing killed 6 American soldiers. Don't expect Hillary Clinton to be saying sorry to Donald Trump. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, Trump is blasting Clinton for suggesting ISIS is using him as a recruitment tool, telling a rally in Michigan.
She's terrible. Donald Trump is on video, and ISIS is using him on the video to recruit. And it turned out to be a lie. She's a liar.
A Clinton spokesperson says the Democratic frontrunner will not apologize for correctly pointing out how Trump's hateful rhetoric only helps ISIS recruit more terrorists. Meanwhile, a new Quinnipiac national poll shows Trump leading the Republican field, but he trails Clinton and fellow Democrat Bernie Sanders. Dave.
Now, Rachel, Ted Cruz is just 4 points back of Trump in the Republican poll that just came out. A man who loaned a gun to the Boston Marathon bombers that was used to kill a police officer will be sentenced on drug and gun charges today. Stephen Silva will appeal in district court later in the day. A first in space after a satellite launch last night cheered at Cape Canaveral.
The first stage is returning.
SpaceX was able to get that booster rocket to return to Earth. It's a reusable rocket. It hopes that can make space transit cheaper. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Cloudy and 41 degrees. Our time is 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer. A pleasant good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A prosecutor says a grand jury has decided that neither sheriff's officials nor jailers committed a crime in the treatment of a black woman who died in a Texas county jail last summer, but has not yet determined whether the state trooper who arrested her should face charges. Sandra Bland's family disputes claims her death was a suicide and says they were shut out of the legal process. But special prosecutor Daryl Jordan says he tried many times to reach out to the family.
We've asked before to speak with them, and we'll ask again. We would love to speak with the family.
The grand jury will reconvene next month to consider charges. Whether the state trooper that arrested Bland should face more scrutiny. The Chicago area woman was pulled over by a Texas state trooper for improper lane changes. That interaction escalated. A Houston area man charged last week in the 1973 death of his wife is being held without bond while he's hospitalized. Donnie Rudd did not appear in court Monday as expected. His attorney says the 73-year-old is being treated for a bacterial skin infection, so a bond hearing is now scheduled for Thursday. A U.S. Senate candidate accused of underpaying workers at his pizza franchise ordered to make up for that loss. State Senator Napoleon Harris reached a deal in court yesterday where more than $23,000 in back pay is required for 39 employees at Beggar's Pizza in Harvey. Illinois will make a big change to its college entrance exam, choosing the SAT over the ACT exam, signing a 3-year contract worth over $14 million. It's a big disruption for parents and school districts, and the process could be delayed since ACT officials have filed a protest with the state. Brooklyn beat the Bulls 105-102 last night. College hoops winners Northwestern, Loyola, and Southern Illinois. Week 15 of the NFL season is over. Lions beat the Saints 35-27. The news a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates and Hammond, Indiana. For amazing deals on all of your favorite brands, or get the gift that always fits, Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss Cabela's Christmas sale. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dave Ramsey here. For the last 20-plus years, we've helped millions of people get their financial lives in order. And now, for the first time ever, we're bringing our Smart Money Tour to you. Financial expert Chris Hogan and I will be at Willow Creek Church on January 12th. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck or wondering what you're going to do when retirement comes around, don't miss this event. Get your seats today at DaveRamsey.com.
Sponsored in part by ImageOneChicago.com.
Remodel your kitchen or bath with Galaxy and get free installation, free design, and free financing. Call Galaxy at 773-783-8300 or schedule online at GalaxyHome.com. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. Own small business. No time. Holidays busy. Pack stuff. Ship stuff. Help.
Well, at Staples, our UPS shipping center is open 7 days a week with the same carrier rates and all the shipping supplies you need, so you can relax.
I'm relaxed, loosened up, tension gone.
Takes time to adjust.
Get up to 5% back in rewards on everything every day, including shipping and packing supplies. Ship more for less. Staples. Make more happen.
5% back in rewards excludes postage, gift, or prepaid phone cards and purchases made on third-party websites. Rewards not paid on taxes, delivery charges, or coupons. See staples.com for details.
6:05 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. In for Jim, here's Dominic Fortini.
Inbound side of the Kennedy, bulking up between Cumberland and the Junction, 25 minutes. O'Hare into downtown, 10 in from Montrose, 8 in the inbound Express, while the inbound Stevenson tight state to Lakeshore, 37 minutes from 355 in the Lakeshore Drive, 27 in from the Tri-State. Inbound Ryan starts to slow near 95th, and again, get a little thick at 35th, 22 minutes, 95th in downtown. Also some minor delays on the inbound Bishop Ford near Cottage Grove. Traffic's a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all your favorite brands or get the gift that always fits Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, rather cloudy, high 45. Then tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, low 39, but temperatures rising into the upper 40s overnight. Breezy with occasional rain tomorrow, high 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
39 at O'Hare, 40 along the lakefront. Next news at 6:30 and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in with us this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A war of words has broken out between the two frontrunners for president. Donald Trump wants Hillary Clinton to apologize for something she said in the latest debate.
He is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. They are going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims.
She should apologize. She lies about emails. She lies about Whitewater. She lies about everything. She will be a disaster.
I have to apologize.
Host Steve Harvey admitting he read the wrong name. The real winner, Miss Philippines.
I will take responsibility for this.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Tuesday morning. I'm Amy Jacobson. In for Dan Proft is Bruce Wolf.
Hi.
You're looking very sharp.
Aw.
Cute. Warm and fuzzy today.
Notice, well, a little fuzzy because you notice I'm trying to grow a little beard and mustache.
Yeah, what's up with the
I'm trying to
Movember was last month.
I tried to do this about 40 years ago, and it was just looked like little rat hairs for about 6 months.
Let me see. It doesn't look. It looks nice.
No,
it looks manly.
it actually comes in a little white.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're trying to.
Well, I mean,
Santa Claus.
I've always had kind of a baby face, which is why I wasn't a success as an attorney, because when I argued before the jury when I was 30, 35 years old or whatever, they said, what's this 12-year-old doing here? So I had to go into broadcasting.
Thank you for coming. I call this the eve of Christmas Eve.
Sure.
Not a lot of people working this week. Have you noticed that?
I noticed it because I'm working. Yeah.
And I'm working too.
I used to do substitute work all the time. I can't tell you how many times I did like Fox thing in the morning, substituting for Bob Surratt on Labor Day.
Uh-huh.
I mean, nothing is happening there.
No, I used to, at WLS, I used to just circle the building, see if anybody was going to call in sick or anyone would take a last-minute vacation. Pick me. And I'd work days straight. I mean, double shifts, triple shifts. I don't care. It was fun.
Right.
But I'm glad that you're here because there's a lot to talk about.
Yes.
And President Obama, I mean, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, oh, it gets worse. Yesterday, he gave a long interview to NPR's Steve Inskeep, and he said the reason why Americans fear ISIS, are you ready, Bruce?
Yes.
Is because the media
is playing up the threat for higher ratings.
What is the public missing about your strategy? And I say that simply because, according to polls, you don't have very much approval for it.
Well, I think what's fair is that post-Paris, you had a saturation of news about the horrible attack there. And, ISIL combines viciousness with very savvy media operations. And as a consequence, if you've been watching television for the last month, all you've been seeing, all you've been hearing about is these guys with masks or black flags who are potentially coming to get you.
I mean, is it possible that he's almost defending ISIS? I mean, blaming the media, eating his own, the media who, put him into office, that catapulted his career, political career, and put him in office. Now he's blaming the media, saying that we're showing ISIS activities for higher ratings. No, that is what's going on. That's what people want to hear about. We want to hear more about our enemy.
Here's what he needs to do. If I were advising the president, I would say this. What we need to do, Mr. President, because I'd be Kissinger advising him. What we need to do is we've got to take a drone and we've got to knock down a Malaysian airliner, take it out of the sky, and then the media will be concentrating on the next MH370, and they'll be, and Don Lemon will be asking what black hole it's gone into, because
that was a tweet. He was answering a tweet. Somebody asked that on a tweet. But here's does he not understand that this is not going to go away? ISIS is not going away, and our concern as Americans, our collective concerns as American citizens, we are still worried about ISIS, and we want him to do something.
No.
To come up with a plan. So then he asked him, so is the media being played by ISIS?
Look, the media is pursuing ratings. This is a legitimate news story.
Oh, thank you.
I think that, it's up to the media to make a determination about how they want to cover things.
Mr. President, a question here.
There is no doubt that the...
Yes, Bruce.
Well, I had a question for the president. I'm playing the Mystery Political Science Theater 3000 by talking over him. Here's the thing. Why, Mr. President, the temperature of the Earth may rise by 0.5 degree over the next century, and you want all these draconian measures taken by us in order to prevent that. We're the ones who are alarmists now over the fact that 14 people were killed in San Bernardino? Or are you the alarmist?
He cares more about the climate than about ISIS, and at least defeating them. Let's continue.
Actions of ISIL are designed to amplify their power. And
my eyes are glazed. I can't even listen to him. 312-642-5600. Is he passing the buck or covering his backside or both? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. You can always text us too at our turnkey.pro text line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. You know what happens when people blame the media, Bruce? It's just an easy way out. Blaming the media is low-hanging fruit.
Sometimes
and for
the
him
media...
to say that the cable companies, that the networks are playing all these ISIS videos just for higher ratings? No, because we want to know what's going on in the world. He has buried his head in the sand. I don't know if you saw this, but in the New York Times on last Thursday, Obama said in an off-the-record meeting that he didn't realize Americans were worried about ISIS because the president, doesn't watch cable news.
And it showed his arrogance, and the New York Times actually edited that out because they're in the tank for Obama. So they edited that stuff out.
But they printed it first, and then they took it out.
Yeah, they took it out of the online. No,
that's similar to Sarah Palin.
No,
that's similar to Sarah Palin not reading a newspaper and not knowing which, kind of dancing around the subject when asked which publications do you read. President Obama, the president of the United States, not watching cable news, not understanding that Americans are worried.
The president
because he doesn't watch cable news.
He's fed up.
Does he read a newspaper? 312-642-5600 is our number. Let's go to Sean in Elmwood Park.
The definition of schizophrenia is when you're so detached from reality, the only reality you can believe is the one you make up in your head. So he's either delusional or schizophrenic. But what he does prove is that we have no standard to be president. Once you're in there, You could sing lollipop songs, and I'm Henry VIII, I am, and they're never going to take you out. But what's really annoying me, Bruce, and I had to call Bruce and Amy, what's really annoying me, I had to talk to you because you played that clip of Chris Christie in the dog blanket where she says that Donald Trump is a recruiting tool for ISIS. Do you know what a recruiting tool for ISIS is? A female president. A female that can read is a recruiting tool. A female that thinks, that can drive a car, that doesn't have to cover her head. A female who isn't treated as chattel or currency. That is a recruiting tool for these Islamo-Nazi morons. And if I hear Jeb Bush say, you know how you defeat a bully? You punch him in the face. No, Jeb, you've never been in a fight in your life. You defeat a bully because you hit him in the side of the head with an axe handle, and you keep hitting him until he can't button his shirt. He walks around like Mark Kirk all day. That's how you beat a bully.
Wow, Sean,
touche,
thank you very
Sean.
much,
Excellent. You know, it's interesting he mentions that because I never even thought of that. That's really a great point. A female president will be a recruiting tool for ISIS.
Oh, we've had female prime ministers before.
It's not a recruiting tool for ISIS. Can't stand women in power.
The ISIS hates Americans. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man. If
That
you're a
just
Christian and
antagonizes
American, I don't know. But President Obama was asked, what is the Obama administration doing to defeat ISIS? You ready, Bruce?
Yes, sir.
Buckle your seatbelt.
And so if people haven't seen the fact that, in fact, 9,000 strikes have been carried out against ISIL, if they don't know that towns like Sinjar that were controlled by ISIL have been taken back, or that a town like Tikrit that was controlled by ISIL now has been repopulated by previous residents, then they might feel as if...
Can we shut him up? I mean, Amy, you know, we're flying, you know, 1 million sorties a day. We're not bombing anything. It's all for show. And the president is fed up with the American people.
Well,
That's in his attitude.
We're not going after the oil fields. ISIS makes $40 million a month from their oil fields.
We're not going over after the drivers of the oil. We're afraid of the environmental impact.
We send them flyers first.
Sure.
The drivers, they send them flyers. No, they do. Send them flyers.
I know.
You are about to be bombed. Okay, I think I'll get out of my car now. And then they walk away. But of course, Donald Trump came up during this 40-minute interview with NPR. And I think that's a big coup for Donald Trump when the man, the sitting president, mentions your name.
You know, I think somebody like Mr. Trump's taken advantage of that. I mean, that's what he's exploiting during the course of his campaign.
312-642-5600. Your phone call's coming up next.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
And a look at the weather first here. Today, areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle, otherwise rather cloudy, high of 45. Friday, times of cloud and sun, a high of 44. Low Friday night, 34. Now for a check of traffic, here's Dominic Fortini.
Inbound Kennedy brake lights at Cumberland. Looking at 25 minutes O'Hare into downtown, 10 in from Montrose. Inbound Ike, 31 minutes Thorndale into the post office. A few delays begin near First Avenue. Inbound Stevenson slows state to Lakeshore, 37 minutes from 355 into the drive. And inbound Ryan bulking up between 35th and the Circle, 22 minutes overall. 95th into downtown, I-57, Bishop Ford and Lakeshore, still in decent shape. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a quick look in the mirror. See those bags under your eyes? Well, imagine them gone. This is the last week for the Chamonix holiday sale, so now's the time to get rid of those bags and puffiness under your eyes safely and naturally. Introducing Genucell plant stem cell therapy for bags and puffiness under the eyes. Rosa from New Jersey wrote, I felt the bags under my eyes firm up. My skin was glowing. Your product helped me to reduce puffiness quickly. In a couple of weeks, I stopped using concealer. So with its instant effects, you'll see results in the first 12 hours, guaranteed, or your money back. But don't wait. This crazy sale ends this week. So order now, and you'll also get the legendary Esotique face cream as a free gift. Call 800-525-8323. That's 800-525-8323. Call now. And express holiday shipping is also free. 800-525-8323.
You can get health insurance no matter what the status of your health is. This is possible through Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois with a tax-free and tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan. Hi, this is Tom Marabali, your independent representative and consumer advocate for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. I am working with a few state senators telling them that all of the Illinois government employees, which include all state, county, municipal, and city of Chicago workers, including the teacher union members, that they need these plans. Since we, the taxpayers, are paying for these expensive health insurance benefits, employees that have health savings account PPO plans could reduce the monthly premiums by approximately 40% and save hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. So call me at 630-863-3477 about my tax-free PPO health insurance plans. That's 630-863-3477, and I will give you a free monthly quote and tell you more about saving hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars with more comprehensive plans.
Our event is going well. I just wish they wouldn't have used the plastic tablecloths.
The food looks like it's been under the heat lamp for an hour.
I can't believe they didn't have room to seat the accounting department at the last minute.
When you plan a corporate event, wedding, or social gathering, you have that picture-perfect image in your head of what it's supposed to look like. At Belvedere Banquets, they bring the shining elegance you expect to see downtown right to the suburbs. From their photogenic lobby fountain to their 5-star quality food options, Belvedere Banquets has your next big event covered in shimmering excellence. They can even bring their top-notch catering right to you. It's time to host an event that leaves everyone in awe at a price that can accommodate budgets for groups of 12 to 1,000. Call 847-534-0600 or visit their beautiful website at belvederebanquets.com. Get the positive event planning experience you deserve for your next occasion. 847-534-0600 or belvederebanquets.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
President Obama back at it, blaming the media for the increasing fears about ISIS. You know, it's the easy way out. 312-642-5600 is our number. Let's go to Chris, who joins us from Lockport. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. I'd like to start with I've got a vested interest, and I've been around this for a while. One thing I'm having a hard time, and this is with our current administration and those that are seeking power, we're looking at a strategy that's based in the 1970s when you're looking at the Fulda Gap and you're looking at taking tanks out of Europe, now we're putting tanks back into Europe. I don't see where we're addressing what resources we have to bear in a military aspect to combat the current threat we had. Since Colin Powell and Ronald Reagan, it hasn't been done, and we're just trying to put things together, slapping, lipstick on a pig.
Well, but I don't think he has a strategy. He said that we've dropped 9,000 bombs. Whoop-de-doo, but hitting what targets? He last week or during that Sunday night primetime 15-minute bull jive session, he did list some ISIL leaders, and my eyes glazed over again because there's no passion there. He has more passion for the climate can change. No, listen, he has more passion for that than he does about defeating ISIS. It's like a shell of a man.
I actually sat through a special report last night, so I want to show that I did my homework. Krauthammer said it's all about with the liberals' inputs. They can say we did this and we did this and we did this, but with conservatives, it's what are the results? And so you can say that you flew all these sorties and everything like that. If you don't kill anybody or you don't win, it doesn't really matter. But it's always a show with them.
We should hit them financially, and that's with their oil
part
fields.
Of it. Yeah.
But there's something in it. I mean, why do you think our gas prices are so low? I, for some reason, think that is connected to the Saudis, which is connected to prices at the pump. I mean, we're at an all-time low. I filled up yesterday. It was $1.98 a gallon.
Do you know what that is
That's
in terms
insane.
In 1973 dollars and everything? I remember when the gas went up to like $1.50 from like 29 cents a gallon all of a sudden in 1973.
There were gas lines. I remember
But with inflation and everything like that, if you have under $2 a gallon gas right now, it's the equivalent in 1973 terms of like a nickel a gallon or something like that. It's like nothing. But it's the shale explosion and all that. Everything's going down.
Let's go to Tom, who joins us from Oswego. Good morning, Tom.
Hi, good morning, Bruce and Amy. I wanted to let President Obama know that I do understand that I can't go on a vacation to Hawaii because I'm out here struggling and killing myself to pay the taxes. I want to tell President Obama that I do understand about how Michelle walks around in $10,000 gowns at White House galas while I'm struggling to buy jeans for work. I just wanted to let this guy know that we do understand what's going on. This isn't all about him. And it's really about the problems that we're having in this country. So just let President Obama know, yes, we do understand.
Thanks, Tom, for the phone call. And Michelle can afford those gowns because of her, cush $300,000 a year job.
$400,000 at a job that they
At
eliminated at the
Chicago.
University of
Yeah,
Chicago
because she
after she left.
She didn't work. She went to 3 meetings. Let's go to Ron in Rockford. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you both.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'd like to be able to say that. Amy, you just mentioned something. I was listening. You talked about the passion. My frustration is it doesn't seem like the president has any kind of passion towards the victims who died in California and the one American that was killed in Paris. It seems like he's telling us that it's almost like collateral damage and inconsequential, and it's not like millions of people or thousands of people have died, where I believe this president should be supporting and taking care of, as commander-in-chief, even one person in the in America. It's unacceptable for ISIS.
Yeah, thanks, Ron, for the phone call. And you know what? I was thinking about that when that one the exchange student was killed. If that was his daughter, because she's going to college next year. She decided to study overseas. If that was his daughter who was killed, I think we'd have a much different situation on our hand. Let's go to Mike, who joins us from the north side. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning and Merry Christmas. I just want to say you have it all wrong and you're misjudging the president. It's been scientifically proven that global warming has caused the red light cameras to malfunction,
sure.
Robbie Gold to miss field goals, and the Maurice Linnell cookie factory to close.
Now you've really cut me to the quick with the Maurice Linnell cookie factory.
Let's go to Steve, who joins us.
That hurts. That was a Chicago institution, like the Spiegel catalog, Chicago 9, Illinois. Oh, yeah, that hurts a lot.
Lick your wounds, Bruce. Okay. Let's go to Steve in Indianapolis.
No, I won't,
Hey, good
because
morning.
I might be infected. My blood.
I want to let you know that I think that the media, nor anybody, the Americans, that really understand what Obama's strategy currently is or what Hillary is proposing and supporting. What they say is they have sent special operations forces over there. There were 60 of them, remember, and they spent something like $600 million. Special operations forces are not special forces. They're trained out of the same schoolhouse in Fort Bragg where I was trained in special operations forces. Special operations forces are nation builders. They're the civil affairs guys in the military, and under Hillary Clinton's Department of State, she built the Civilian Reconstruction Corps. Their job is to win the hearts and minds and to spend our treasures building their country. And what they're trying to do is prop up the anti-Assad regime by giving them $600 million. That's why there's only 60 of them that they tried to train. To take that money out and build businesses, schools, and little things for the people, saying, see, our way is better and we have the support of the U.S. That's why he's passionate about it, and he's not wanting to kill people with bombs because he thinks over time.
Real quick, because we don't have a lot of time. You mentioned Fort Bragg. Bo Bergdahl. Should he spend the rest of his life in jail?
Absolutely. I was there when we went looking for Bo Bergdahl. He left the base. He's a traitor, and in former lives he would have been shot as a traitor. But yes, the rest of his life would be fine with me.
Thanks, Steve, for the phone call. And thanks for your service.
Starbucks is taking Merry Christmas off. No more Merry Christmas. I will tell you, lots of big things, lots of little things. You can call this anything you want. But if I become president, we're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again. That I can tell you.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lex, CEO of Balance of Nature. At Balance of Nature, we believe in real communication. Whether you call into the office or hear a success story on the radio, you can be sure it's real, unsolicited, and unscripted conversation.
There were times I was finding myself almost falling asleep at the wheel, that I had to pull over. That's the first thing I noticed, that hasn't happened since I've been taking Balance of Nature. I'm in sales, so I do a lot of walking during the day that would tire me out. I'm not as fatigued. I feel good.
The top 3 New Year's resolutions are health-related. Improve your odds by getting started early with our best price of the year. Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hey, Steve, if you're listening, you just called in. Can you call us back? Because I want to talk to you. Steve from Indianapolis.
Yeah, because he's got special knowledge about special forces.
Yes, just
and
curious.
special court martials. For a long time, Turnkey IT has been providing solutions to AM 560 business owners. It's a name that you've come to know and trust. Turnkey IT takes care of your technology and has a plan that fits your company's IT budget and network needs. Interested in moving some or all of your business to the cloud? Turnkey IT can migrate your network to Microsoft's Office 365. Need someone to call when you can't print, have lost a file, or need tech support? Turnkey IT's got you covered. Offsite backup? Check. On-site support? Check. Help desk support? Check. Turnkey IT staff is professional, friendly, punctual, and will solve all your technical problems immediately or even after normal business hours, all for a fixed monthly rate. Turnkey IT knows your network is truly the heartbeat of your company. Focus on your business and leave the technical stuff to the pros. Visit turnkey.pro today for a plan that fits your needs. That's turnkey.pro.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, don't they know Rahm Emanuel's in Cuba, but more protesters continue to hound City Hall? We'll explain. But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 41 degrees in Chicago. Schools reopening today in Nashua, New Hampshire. The city closing them yesterday because of a threat of violence. There will be an increased police presence. A U.S. soldier held for 5 years by the Taliban in Afghanistan, scheduled to appear before a military judge in North Carolina today on charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl disappeared in Afghanistan in 2009. A government official in northern Kenya says 2 died when a gunman believed to be Somalia's al-Shabaab rebels attacked a bus with dozens of passengers. However, there are some witnesses who say a few Muslims on the bus gave non-Muslims their headscarves, so they would not be singled out and killed. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump not letting up on his attacks against Hillary Clinton. At a rally in Michigan, he again took aim at Clinton over her claim that ISIS is using a video of him for recruitment.
And it turned out to be a lie. She's a liar. No, it turned out to be a lie. Turned out to be a lie.
Clinton, it turns out, made a false claim at the Democrat debate over the weekend, calling Trump ISIS's biggest recruiter. America is facing another wave of unaccompanied minors from Central America moving across the border from Mexico into this country. Pinal County Sheriff Paul Bebeau telling Fox News the compassion of America taking in refugees may have to have limits.
The new norm here is the Obama administration says the border is wide open, that there is no law when it comes to immigration, and I will not accept that.
The Border Patrol says more than 10,000 such children entered the country illegally in October and November. Las Vegas police say video clearly shows that a 24-year-old woman intended to mow down people by driving onto a sidewalk on the Las Vegas Strip.
She is believed to be from the Oregon area. We're not 100% ruling out the possibility of terrorism.
However, Las Vegas Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo says they're still digging into the background of Lakeisha Holloway. Success for the company SpaceX, launching a Falcon rocket last night with 11 small satellites on board and watching that 15-story leftover booster rocket return safely to Earth at Cape Canaveral. A prosecutor says a grand jury has decided neither sheriff's officials nor jailers committed a crime in the treatment of a former Chicago woman who died in a Texas county jail last summer. A Houston area man charged in the 1973 death of his wife in Chicago's suburbs, held without bond. Donnie Rudd is hospitalized this morning after he did not appear in a courtroom yesterday. Brooklyn beat the Bulls 105-102. Tonight on the ice, it's the Blackhawks at Dallas. The news service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's and their Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates or Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all your favorite brands or get the gift that always fits. Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale. 6:33, time to have Air Comfort check your building's mechanical system, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't so sure the president's strategy in ISIS will work.
Isn't it reasonable that if somebody's on the no-fly list, they shouldn't be allowed to buy a gun? That's the kind of stuff that's going to defeat ISIS, isn't it? Now, that's what I call prioritizing. Holy cow. Lord, help us.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale.
America has a serious narcotics problem. 90% of the world's narcotics are taken by Americans. They have a place, but when you're dealing with chronic pain, pain that doesn't go away or which frequently returns, there is a better way. You're masking the pain. We help you find and deal with the source of the chronic pain to get real relief. This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. We're serious players in pain. Our team are national leaders and we're educators in the treatment of pain. We will work with you to diminish or eliminate your pain and help you get your life back. Contact us, we will help you. You don't have to live with chronic pain. We treat all pain. We don't mask it with painkillers and narcotics that are not good for you and which can be addictive. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. mypainchicago.com, mypainchicago.com. All the info is available at mypainchicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
6:36 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Watch for some slowing on the inbound side of the Edens beginning near Peterson. 21 minutes late Cook into the junction. Still have some minor slowdowns inbound Kennedy beginning near Cumberland. 25 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 10 in from Montrose. Inbound Ike, pretty slow, 17th into Harlem, 35 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 22 from Manheim. Outbound starting to get tight at Harlem. Inbound Stevenson, 39 minutes now, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Brake lights pop on as you approach Cicero, while the inbound Ryan slows at 35th, 22 minutes, 95th into downtown. Traffic's a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all your favorite brands or get the gift that always fits, Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Areas of fog this first day of winter. Spotty drizzle. Otherwise cloudy skies. High 45. 39 at O'Hare. 38 in Aurora. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in this morning on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
So your guy, Lindsey Graham, yeah, he called it quits yesterday. And I just remember Bruce Wolf when he made the big announcement that he, Senator Lindsey Graham, was going to run for president of the United States.
Some of you have known me since my family lived in the back of the bar in that building. But I'm pretty sure no one here, including me, ever expected to hear me say, I'm Lindsey Graham, and I'm running for president of the United States.
And they were justified in it because he flopped. What is he at about 0.5%?
Well, I thought he was an asterisk or a hashtag in one of the polls that I saw.
You know, here's the thing about Lindsey. First of all, I don't have that much sympathy for him because can Dan call in right now? Because I know he knows about internal politics in South Carolina. I'm pretty sure that Lindsey kind of rigged the whole thing in South Carolina so that he could become senator again. So I'm not that sympathetic to Lindsey Graham. And by the way, his endorsement won't mean jack squat in South Carolina to anybody in the primary.
And I don't think anyone's concerned where his votes are going to go, where his who are his constituents going to support.
But here's the thing. You know, as Krause said on the special report last night, he might have been a little bit ahead of his time because he's the only guy who said that we need to put ground troops in the Middle East, which is like a Democrat, or it's just like somebody saying we have to raise taxes. Nobody wants to hear that kind of thing.
If Lindsey Graham had his way and Senator McCain, we'd be involved in seven different wars right now. Yeah. Their solution is always go to war.
Okay, and it might be something that ultimately we have to do, but nobody wants to hear it right now. Having said that, I think Lindsey Graham actually, and he was slow in the first debate. He seemed depressed and whatever, but he's got a great sense of humor. He's very good, and I saw him on The View a couple of months ago. You know, with all the shrews on The View, and he was really, really, really good. And my suggestion is that he replace Chicago's very own and our friend Paula Ferris on The View.
Why?
Because Paula is just not coming through. Here's the thing about Paula. I love Paula. She's great. I work with her. She's one of the most stunning, beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I mean, and she's talented, and she's really good. She told Robert Fetter, is his name? She said that she was going to bring Midwestern values to The View. Well, if it's a Midwestern value to kowtow to the East and West Coast liberal establishments, that's what she's done there. She has not come through. And I understand.
You know why she hasn't? Because she's still host of Good Morning America on the weekend.
And also because Whoopi's there, and you can't be the beautiful woman and the brainy woman at the same time.
Can. Yes,
no,
can.
no.
You know what concerns me more is that you're watching The View.
I watched it one time. Look, I'm lonely. I got to watch Paul. And Paula's terrific. I mean, she's really. When I was, I used to be her wet nurse at Channel 5 when she had a baby. I came on and do the sports, so I was her and Peggy Kaczynski's wet nurses at Channel 5. When they had babies, they let me work. Which made me really feel like a man. But I once was like at Dear Frank's, this hot dog joint in Deerfield where I used to live. And I'm getting hot dogs, and I have like worse than the 3 o'clock shadow that I have right now because I'm not, working part-time and everything. And on the screen, on the TV screen overhead, I see Paula doing the sports. And I said to myself, I'd rather watch her doing the sports than me doing the sports. But having said that, she's not coming through, and that's typical. The typical liberal.
Lindsey Graham
Lindsey
should replace
Graham
Paula Ferris.
he's got humor. He's got kind of an effeminate way about him, and I think he'd work.
I'm going to top you on your Paula Ferris story. And I might be getting a little graphic here, but Paula Ferris and we're very close.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And she's the only woman in this world who I've shared a nanny with and a breast pump.
Whoa.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the story you didn't hear about that transgender student and his use of the girls' locker room and how it's affecting others. We'll explain and have a guest on. But first, what is the weather?
And, of course, on our online show, we'll be going into detail on the breast pump episode with
I got it
Paula
back. She
Ferris.
borrowed it and gave it back.
That's great. Today, area fog this morning. Areas with spotty drizzle. Otherwise, rather cloudy, a high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. And on Friday, Christmas Day, times of cloud and sun, high of 44, low Friday night of 34. Now for a check of traffic, here's Dominic Fortini. I used to do the traffic, so I can do it right now.
So did I.
I think it's like 19 on the inbound Edens. I'm going to guess it's 19 on the inbound Edens right now.
21. You're close.
All right, within 2 minutes, that's the standard deviation error, right? Okay, go ahead, Dominic.
Looking good on the inbound Kennedy as well. You can keep going if you want.
Are you eating right now, Dominic?
Of course not.
You're fired. Okay, here. No. Go ahead.
Dominic, don't be afraid of Bruce.
No, we're here. We just got to work it through.
Okay.
All right, so if you're on the inbound Kennedy, you're still tied up around Cumberland. 26 minutes overall O'Hare to downtown. Inbound side of the Ike, stop and go at 17. 35 minutes Thorndale to the post office. Inbound Stevenson, a little bit slow as you approach Cicero, and that's going to pick up again as you approach State. 39 minutes, 3:55 into the drive. In the inbound Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th into downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Time now for the Lou Dobbs Market Preview, brought to you by the Mutual Fund Store.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Reports on third quarter GDP and existing home sales in focus. Wall Street investors also watching the crude oil market. Those stories next.
2 little tablets is all it takes to make your thin hair feel and look thicker and fuller, guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically researched to promote existing hair growth for men and women, and now a 90-day supply of Viviscal is offered in your area risk-free, plus free shipping. Call 800-774-4402. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. You'll love your hair growth results, guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, it's recommended by by top doctors. Here's Dr. Grant Stevens, board-certified plastic surgeon.
I feel confident recommending Viviscal to women with hair loss, thinning hair, or even dry or brittle hair. It's 100% drug-free, and it's backed by years of clinical research.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls now gets a 90-day risk-free supply plus free shipping. Call now, 800-774-4402. 800-774-4402. That's 800-774-4402.
Wall Street investors hope yesterday's gains are just the beginning of a much-needed Santa Claus rally. We'll see whether the final report on third-quarter GDP ignites more buying in the market. Investors also considering reports on corporate profits, home prices, existing home sales, and manufacturing along the mid-Atlantic coast. We'll see whether those reports influence the currency and commodity markets. The February crude contract taking over as the front-month contract today, trading under $36 a barrel. We'll see whether the hype surrounding Star Wars helps Disney and IMAX rebound from yesterday's losses, and watch the shares of Micron Technology and Nike, both companies reporting earnings after the closing bell. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
My brother Chris is allergic to talking about retirement. Bring up his future and you'll get glazed eyes and awkward answers. Don't believe me? Let's try it. Chris, when will you retire?
Ha! You darn right I like nachos.
See what I mean? Chris, do you have a retirement account?
It's gotta be the right kind of cheese.
One last time. Are you ever going to retire?
And don't forget jalapenos. I love jalapenos.
Good for you, buddy.
Avoiding the retirement conversation? At the Mutual Fund Store, we get it, and our advisors are here to help. Whether you're storing 401k statements in a shoebox, can't tell a traditional from a Roth IRA, or include piggy bank as one of your retirement accounts, there are no judgments here. We'll simply sit down with you one-on-one, talk about where you're at, and help you put a plan in place to get you where you want to be tomorrow. Let's get the conversation started today with a free consultation.
Hi, I'm Steve Check with the Mutual Fund Store in Chicagoland. Call me at 888-498-3636 or visit mutualfundstore.com and let's talk about your financial goals today.
This is Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Opportunity Project. 97. That's the percentage of Chicago Teachers Union members who voted yes in a recent mock vote. Yes, they voted. They are prepared to go out on strike for the second time in 4 years. The annual average CPS teacher salary is just under $80,000. And that's before you include their health insurance benefits and guaranteed seven-figure pensions. The bankrupt, junk-rated Chicago Public Schools spend more than $15,000 annually per pupil. And yet 75% of 4th and 8th graders are neither proficient in reading nor math. This in a system of nearly 400,000 students. So who's the bad guy here? Is it the teachers union or the mayor's office? Yes, there are no white hats in the story of central planners from City Hall fighting with the central planners from the teachers union over who gets to be the lead central planner at CPS. If the teachers strike, they deserve to be unlocked from their jobs. CPS students deserve access to schools that will give them the opportunity to earn an education that sets them on a course for success in life. The only way that happens is if the adults inside CPS, the parents, and the adults outside CPS, state political leaders, change the flow of money away from central planners and to families so that they may make the same choices for their children that Tiny Dancer did for his kids matriculating at the University of Chicago Lab School. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know, this is a story that I do not think was covered by the mainstream media. It's about 6 brave high school students from Fremd High School who voiced their opinion. They're concerned about changing in the same locker room as a transgender person. I'm sure you've heard the story, Bruce Wolf. We've talked about it several times. And District 211, the first district in the country to be found in violation of civil rights laws on transgender issues after one boy sued the district because he identifies as a woman and he wanted a change in the girls' locker room.
Can I quickly, just to give you a little historical perspective, years ago there was a state representative or state senator named Penny Pullen. I remember her. And I interviewed her. And I said, it was around the time the Equal Rights Amendment was trying to go through and everything. And I said, is there going to be a time where boys are going to be able to compete on girls' teams and everything? She said, well, you know, that's theoretical. It seems ridiculous and everything. But I guess theoretically it's possible. And Dan and I, when we did the show, you know, on the other station, you know, we would, a few years ago, we would like joke around when this whole transgender thing started about different bathrooms and everything. Like, oh yeah, you know, a boy's gonna go into a girl's bathroom, and now
it's happening.
Like,
and this student, this transgender student, does use the women's locker room because he is on. I've been told that he is on the girls' cross country team. The girls' cross country team and the girls' gymnastics team. With that, we welcome Kelsey Harkness. She is the news director and news producer at the Daily Signal. Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so tell me about these 6 brave girls and what they tried to accomplish.
Yeah, so this really is, as you mentioned, the story behind the story. A lot of people are reporting on how the parents feel about this transgender student using the girls' locker room. But there's been 6 students who actually spoke out and spoke very candidly and honestly about why they're uncomfortable with this student using their locker room. They got pretty detailed if you read in the story. And what you might find most interesting is that they don't want to go public with their names. And I asked them why. I said, why wouldn't you want to speak out and let your voice be heard instead of just letting your parents and other students talk about it? And they said, because we're scared of being called bigots and homophobes. And they said the reality is this is student A, as it's called out there, is very accepted in their school. And this really turned into the situation spiraled from being about student A and how to accommodate this student into an entire debate about transgender students using the locker rooms that they identify with.
So they have to change in different areas, or just tell me what it's like for them. If they want any privacy, is there a special spot for them, or does this transgender student have his own special spot?
So in order to accommodate girls like these 6 who I spoke with, the school's now saying that we put up extra privacy curtains so that girls who are uncomfortable sharing a locker room with student A can change behind these curtains. But the reality is these girls are asking, why do I have to change my ways? Why do all of us have to change our ways to accommodate this one student? Why don't our feelings matter? Why are we being ignored in this debate? And I think they raised some legitimate concerns.
Plus, there would be a stigma associated to them if they didn't want to do it. And then you're talking about a locker room within a locker room, right? You're talking about if there's going to have separate facilities for these girls, why don't we just go back to the old separate facilities? And it's all about, being worried about this one person who I understand has these difficulties, although I have some serious questions about it. But 15 and 16-year-old girls, I remember, being in a locker room. I wasn't too crazy about getting undressed in front of people too. So, it just seems like the world is upside down.
Yeah, what I found most interesting in reading the reports and talking to these girls is that it appears that the school has, in some ways, bent over backwards to accommodate the student. At one point, I read that they installed an entire bank of lockers and then in a room next to the girls' locker room so that student A didn't have to change alone. And they invited her to have other friends change with her. But the student said she wants to be treated like all the other girls and to change in the girls' locker room. So now, because the Department of Education is involved and, this situation is turning into the federal government deciding how the local community has to handle this, the school board had to back down, and the student A is now, as far as we know, using the girls' locker room, and she promises to change behind these privacy curtains. And also, I don't know how detailed you read in the report, but since the student A is on sports teams, the agreement that the school board met with the Department of Education is that if student A travels to any other school for games, which is very common when you're on sports teams in high school, she has to have access to a privacy curtain in every single locker room she has. So you really have to wonder, who is going to be that person making sure there's a privacy curtain in every single school around the area to make sure that there's a privacy curtain for her to use and for other students who are now uncomfortable.
Yeah, I went to John Hersey High School, and we played Frem. We're all in the mid-suburban league, and I cannot imagine them curtaining off a certain area to let this student change. But why is he, because he hasn't gone through the full transformation, why is he still on a girls' gymnastics team and a girls' cross-country team?
Yeah, that's what surprised me, because these situations of, what facilities transgender students use are popping up throughout the country. And, I'm looking at this from Washington, D.C., where we've seen some other cases. And as I mentioned, it seems like the school has gone pretty far in accommodating this student by allowing her on the sports teams and to use the girls' bathroom. There's some schools that, are still resisting that or trying to figure out what they want to do about that. So for all places for the ACLU to start a lawsuit, for it to happen here, I think is very interesting. And in my reporting, I actually was able to speak with the ACLU, and I think they said some very interesting things about how they view this situation.
Now, Amy, it's never enough.
Real quickly, any of the 6 girls that you spoke with, are any of them going to transfer schools, or are they going to stay at Fremd?
As far as I know, I spoke with one of their parents, and she said that some of the parents are pretty outraged, and they've been thinking for a long time because of other issues in the district about switching schools. None of them told me definitively they were switching, but I also spoke with Tom Morrison, state representative out there, and he said he has young girls who might be attending this high school in the future, and now he doesn't know if he wants to send them there. So I think it's not just affecting the students who are in the high school now, but the young girls who are going to grow up and go to that high school in a few years.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kelly Harkness. An excellent article. She's the news producer at the Daily Signal. If you want to read the full story, log on to our Twitter account at morninganswer.com.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A research institute is seeking a data scientist to increase the power and impact of advanced data science and modeling techniques for the natural gas industry. Execute billable tasks on projects that require modeling and data science skill sets, and participate in building the next generation of advanced software capabilities. Candidates must possess a master's degree in computer science plus 1 year of experience in data analysis and modeling with Bayesian networks, NoSQL, JavaScript, R, Java, and Python, and permanent U.S. work authorization. Please send cover letter and resume to Jeremy Odehall, Director, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018. That address again for cover letters and resumes is Jeremy Odehall, Director, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018.
Got a great sleep last night, all thanks to MyPillow. I'm addicted to mine. I take it with me on vacations because I can't live without it. And right now, we still have the buy one, get one free offer, plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. So basically, you can try MyPillow risk-free. You have nothing to lose and could be enjoying your best sleep ever. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's so important to get a great night's sleep. MyPillow helps with snoring, headaches, neck pain, insomnia. It's washable. It's made in America, and it's the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. Buy one, get one free. Right now, it's a limited offer. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in the promo code, or call 800-489-0201.
No one ever imagines facing Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia and needing full-time care, but it happens. And deciding on the right residential care for mom or dad can be a monumental task. There is a memory care community that focuses on helping your parent or loved one with dementia light up and live life to the fullest, making them feel like family. Autumn Leaves memory care communities see past the diagnosis to the person you know, that your dad was a fantastic cook, or that your mom loved to dance. A person who deserves so much more than being just an Alzheimer's patient. Whether it's through yoga and music therapy or simply by cooking them their favorite meal, Autumn Leaves strives to stimulate their minds and bodies to respect and nurture the person you care so much about. See for yourself the difference Autumn Leaves communities can mean for your family. Autumn Leaves, dedicated solely to the unique needs of memory care patients.
Autumn Leaves has 10 locations in the Chicagoland area offering day-stay respite and assisted living programs. Call 888-662-8886 or visit autumnleaves.com.
Are you living with prostate enlargement? Do you pee more often than you used to? Do you wake up to go? Be honest, is there a drop in your romantic life? Prostate problems don't go away on their own, so you need to call for a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 non-prescription formula for your prostate. The ingredients are natural. With Super Beta Prostate, you'll have less urges to urinate, less waking at night, and an improvement in your romantic life, guaranteed. Try it for free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-317-7853. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Stop running to the bathroom and call us now for your free bottle. Hurry, this free offer won't last. Just call 1-800-317-7853. That's 1-800-317-7853. 1-800-317-7853.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Trump and Clinton, they both want apologies, how it helps their campaigns. But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, a family slams a grand jury probe of a jail cell death in Texas. Chicago firm among the finalists for the Obama library design. Nets knock off the Bulls, and WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He says his rallies are a love fest. Donald Trump in Michigan last night.
What's going on is amazing.
But a new Quinnipiac poll says 50% of Americans would be embarrassed if he was president. 35 said the same thing about Hillary Clinton, though that same poll shows Trump leading the Republican race by 4 points over a surging Ted Cruz. Trump wants Clinton to apologize for saying ISIS is using videos of him to help recruit.
There is no video at all, and that's been now confirmed. And I would say that she should apologize. I would say she should, but she probably won't.
When a Clinton spokesman says he's right, she won't say that she is sorry. The U.S. soldier freed in that controversial prisoner swap with the Taliban goes to military court today. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Damie, Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl will be arraigned at Fort Bragg, North Carolina on charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. The 29-year-old walked off his post in Afghanistan in 2009 and was seized by the Taliban. He told the podcast Serial he left his base to hike to another Army base to report concerns about soldier safety to a general, and that he had hopes of becoming some kind of super soldier. Dave?
Rachel, no charges are coming, at least not yet. And the death of a woman in Texas found hanging in her jail cell after a traffic stop. Fox's Gernal Scott on the case live.
Dave, the grand jury in Waller County says neither the sheriff's department nor jailers watching Sandra Bland's holding cell will be charged. Bland's death was ruled a suicide coming after a confrontational traffic stop. Up to now, Bland's relatives claim they've been shut out of the process, but Special Prosecutor Darrell Jordan says he wants to change that.
We've asked before to speak with them, and we'll ask again. We would love to speak with the family.
The grand jury will reconvene in January to consider charges against the trooper who arrested Bland, Dave.
The woman who drove her car onto the sidewalk in the Las Vegas Strip, killing one person, injuring more than 30 others, is on suicide watch in jail. Lakeisha Holloway told police she's homeless and was looking for a place to stop her car to rest. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Cloudy and 41 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Pleasant good morning. I'm Mike Scott. No felony crime committed in the treatment of a black woman who hails from the Chicago area who later died in a Texas jail last summer. That according to a Texas grand jury on Monday.
After presenting all the evidence as it relates to the death of Sandra Bland, the grand jury did not return an indictment.
Special Prosecutor Darrell Jordan says the Waller County grand jury reached no decision on whether the trooper who arrested the 28-year-old former Chicago resident should face charges. The grand jury will reconvene in January. A Houston area man charged last week in the 1973 death of his wife in Chicago's suburbs is being held without bond while being hospitalized. Donnie Rudd did not appear in court Monday. His attorney says he's battling a bacterial skin infection. A bond hearing is scheduled again for Thursday. A major ratings agency downgrades the Chicago Public Schools' already dismal credit rating, citing the district's precarious financial situation and unbalanced 2016 budget. Moody's Investors Service on Monday lowered the CPS general obligation debt from BA3 to B1. Chicago fire officials continue to mop up and look for the cause of an extra alarm warehouse fire on the city's northwest side. The blaze began yesterday evening in the 3000 block of North Rockwell. No one was hurt. Chicago Fire was back there earlier this morning mopping up hot spots. Chicago architecture firm is one of 7 finalists for the job of designing the Barack Obama Presidential Center on the South Side. John Ronan Architects and the other finalists will submit conceptual designs for both possible sites for the library and museum. They'll make individual presentations in the first quarter of next year. Bulls lost to Brooklyn, their third straight loss, 105-102. Monday Night Football Week 15 is over. Lions beat the Saints 35-27. The news, a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates and Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands or get the gift that always fits, Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
When all is said and done and the Obama administration rides off into the sunset, what one overwhelming theme will be the lasting impression? Here's one: asleep at the switch. While ISIS was making a rampage across the Middle East, we did nothing. While a Syrian dictator was killing 300,000 of his own people, we did nothing. When thousands of those same refugees came pouring across the border, we did nothing. Unfortunately, we were and still are asleep at the switch. So keep it here to learn what we can do about that. AM 560. The answer.
Guys, if you've been using or wanting to try Viagra but are worried about the costs, we have great news. Now you can finally get real results at huge discounts with our Healthy Men alternative to the little blue pill. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get results for a fraction of the price? Call today and get 40 pills for only $99. Others cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us if you want real results at the lowest prices. Never pay $15 a pill for Viagra when you can get real results for less than $3 per pill. Call 800-618-0945 today and save over $500. You can have those breathtaking, toe-curling moments again and again. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Call right now and we'll rush you your supply delivered discreetly to your door. Just call 800-618-0945. That's 800-618-0945. Again, 800-618-0945.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads now in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. In for Jim, here's Dominic Fortini.
Inbound side of the Kennedy, a little bit tight at Diversey. 25 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 15 in from the Junction. Express lane's a better choice at 11, but those start to slow up at Diversey. The outbound side of the Kennedy, brake lights Foster to Canfield. Inbound side of the Ike, 34 minutes, Thorndale in on the outbound trip. No hassles there, 29 minutes from the post office to Thorndale. Inbound Stevenson backs up at Cicero, 39 minutes from 355 into Lakeshore Drive. 29 in from the Tri-State, also some minor delays as you approach State Street into Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th in the downtown. And northbound Tri-State, a few minor delays, 88 through the Eisenhower. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Cloudy today with a high 45, then a cloudy night with a little late night rain, low 39 with temperatures rising into the upper 40s overnight, then breezy with gusts up to 35 miles per hour tomorrow with occasional rain during the day, high 60, showers in the evening, low tomorrow night 38. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
39 at O'Hare, 41 along the lakefront. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in with us this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the New American Funding Show, walking you through stress-free mortgage options. Sunday afternoons at 1 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A war of words has broken out between the two frontrunners for president. Donald Trump wants Hillary Clinton to apologize for something she said in the latest debate.
He is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. They are going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims.
She should apologize. She lies about emails. She lies about Whitewater. She lies about everything. She will be a disaster.
I have to apologize.
Host Steve Harvey admitting he read the wrong name. The real winner, Miss Philippines.
I will take responsibility for this.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Tuesday morning. It's the eve of Christmas Eve. Like how I did that?
No, it's not the eve of the eve. Is it the eve of Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Or is it the eve of
Today's
the eve
Tuesday. Christmas Eve is Thursday. Christmas is Friday. No, I know you celebrate Hanukkah.
Hanukkah's over.
Okay, then focus on Christmas.
Let's talk. Kwanzaa is spelled with 2 A's at the end.
Oh, thank goodness you came to work today so that I could know that.
If you're Orthodox or conservative, African-American culture, if you're Reform, you just spell it with 1 A at the end. That's just,
that's
little tidbits
voice
of
belongs
information.
to Bruce Wolf, who's filling in today and hopefully tomorrow for Dan Proft, who's taking a few days off. He's doing Jedi training. Then he's going to head over to Cuba to hang out with the Emmanuels, try to set them straight. And then he's going to go to Hawaii and meet with the Obamas for a while.
And maybe play a little golf with President Obama, spot him, give him 3 strokes aside. Yeah, I get it.
Well, you're a pretty good golfer, right? Didn't you hit the best round of your life?
I shot a 79 at White Deer Run on November the 14th, which is great to be playing golf on November the 14th. And it was my best round of the year, best round I've had in a long time. But I don't hit the ball far because I'm like playing old man golf now. And, a guy like Dan would just laugh at me. If I had a hole-in-one on I played Whistling Straits where they played, the big tournaments. Yeah. And I got to play there with my son-in-law, who actually took me there, to Whistling Straits. And we're playing Whistling Straits, and there's a par 3, and it's into the wind about 180 yards. I took out a driver. And had I gotten a hole-in-one, I wouldn't have reported it because it would have been too embarrassing to use a driver on a par 3. As it was, I was only 30 feet away from the hole.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Would you like to hear about every other stroke I've ever had in a game of golf?
We're going to get on to what people are talking about this morning, and that's the war on words between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. For, the last, he spent the weekend, I should say, insulting Jeb Bush. Now he's demanding an apology from Hillary Clinton because she said this during the Democratic debate on Saturday night.
He is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. They are going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims.
So fact checkers, in every newsroom and newspaper wanted to know if Donald Trump was or was not in ISIS recruiting videos. Well, it turns out, according to the NBC and ABC intelligence experts, they say Trump is right. ISIS has not used the front runner or his image for recruiting. So Donald Trump wants an apology from the Hillster.
She should apologize. She lies about emails. She lies about Whitewater. She lies about everything. She will be a disaster.
Yeah, disaster.
Whitewater, a deep cut there. That's great.
So Hillary Clinton, her campaign, what have they decided to do?
They have said that she's not going to apologize. And I quote Clinton's spokesbeing, Brian Fallon. Is he related to Jimmy at any? Because I know Jimmy's probably in the tank for. Hell no, they say. Hillary Clinton will not be apologizing to Donald Trump for correctly pointing out how his hateful rhetoric only helps ISIS recruit more terrorists. Now, the little soft shoe that they did, a little shell game they played there. Mm-hmm. They've now changed it because they know there are no videos per se. So now they're saying it's hateful rhetoric. It's like the change from, remember, it used to be global warming and now it's climate change, so it can cover anything. So that's how they do it. That's the little sleight of hand. It depends on what the meaning of is and all that. That's the Clinton. They're very slippery people.
And the Clinton campaign did say that, yes, on social media, ISIS members are talking about Donald Trump, and that's agitating them, and it's used as it's a recruitment tool. And President Obama, he said pretty much the same thing.
I think somebody like Mr. Trump's taken advantage of that. That's what he's exploiting during the course of his campaign.
Yeah, exploiting the fears of America. 312-642-5600. Who should apologize to who? That's our Turnkey.pro answer line, by the way, 64636. Type in DA. That's our Turnkey.pro text line. Or you could call or email us directly from the AM560 mobile app on your smartphone. Should anybody apologize to anyone? Now this sounds more of a general election. We're done with the primaries now. It's Donald Trump, the assumed GOP candidate, and Hillary Clinton.
Look, I believe anybody should have a baby for any reason whatsoever because having babies is great. But to have a baby for political purposes, like we're living in the medieval times.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
The new Clinton?
You knew one.
Well, before we get to that, I have some sound from Brian Fallon, who has a neat, crafty little spin on who should apologize to who. Again, Brian Fallon is Hillary Clinton's spokesperson.
The person that needs to apologize in this matter is Donald Trump for his hateful, bigoted rhetoric towards Muslim Americans.
Yeah. Take that. Let's go to Dennis, who joins us from Crystal Lake. Good morning, Dennis. How are you?
Well, Amy, my buddy Dan's not there, so Bruce, how you doing?
Very good. Thank you.
Amy, I know you hate Trump, and
I like him.
Hillary Clinton is the most dangerous, evil woman that has ever set foot on this earth. She's a liar, a serial liar. Her husband's a serial liar. They're anti-military. They're anti-American. And I wouldn't apologize to her if I had a gun to my head.
How about Lizzie Borden? She was pretty bad. But yeah, Hillary's close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she is cold. She is calculated. And I'm not supporting Donald Trump right now, but I have not picked a candidate yet. You supporting Donald Trump? If you had to vote
I believe,
today?
as I always say, and by the way, I've trademarked this, everybody loves something about Donald Trump and hates himself for it. Because, I like that he rips the media. I like that he turned on Megyn Kelly. I didn't like that. Well, she's a former, you have a vested interest. She's a former intern of yours.
Right.
Everybody was a former intern of Megyn Kelly's.
It was degrading to women. It was, that's not going to help him get the women vote. But you know what? A lot of women like the bad boys. A lot of women are attracted to the nasty behavior of men. So he might end up getting some female votes where other people would think, oh, no, he would never get a female vote.
I like that he's...
I cherish women.
Thank you. Now, also that he has, because the first thing about a country is that it actually is a country and it has borders. And had Donald Trump not brought this issue to the fore, as Mark Stein says, we'd be talking, as typical Republicans do, like, when is legal status going to be granted to the illegal aliens? Is it going to be 2 years or 6 years? He has actually looked at the problem in terms of Americans and what good does it do us. And that is a shift in the paradigm.
Also, yesterday we learned that Chelsea Clinton, the only daughter of Hillary and Bill, she announced conveniently her second pregnancy. She took to Facebook and she tweeted a picture of her 1-year-old daughter, Charlotte, holding a book called Big Sisters Are the Best, stating that we are feeling particularly blessed and grateful this holiday season.
Wait a minute. Isn't she violating the Clinton one-child policy?
Being Charlotte's parents has been the most joyous, meaningful, and loving experience of our lives. And we're
How many
very
nannies?
excited about growing our family in the new year. No, so this is the thing, though. I would not put it past Hillary or Bill or them together in cahoots saying, Chelsea, now's the time to procreate. We need another grandchild because it could be used as a political prop. Here's this loving family with 2 gorgeous grandchildren.
I can't believe how
up
cynical
on stage
you are.
with her.
You're
the
cynical.
baby is due late summer of 2016.
Actually, the baby happens to be due, and they'll probably have it cesarean, so they will probably have the baby. The baby will be born right after the nominating speech, maybe after the keynote. I'm not really sure at the Democratic Convention.
It's a way to garner more female votes. It really is, because we can relate to that. A lot of
And
people
because
who are
women
parents,
are sentimental and, will just be wowed by something
a lot
like
of
that.
people, women who are parents or grandparents, see that and think, you know what, I can relate to her. I have something in common with her. Do you see? But when Rob Blagojevich and Patty became pregnant with their second baby, they're running against Judy Bartopinka, who was not
She should
married at
rest
the
in
time.
peace.
No, yeah, a moment of silence for Judy.
I loved her.
When
She was
I
so
say a
much
moment of
fun.
silence, that's when you don't talk.
I'm giving a Ben Carson moment of silence. Did you see the debate? Let's have a moment of silence for the people who died in San Bernardino. Okay, now let's go on.
Judy Bartopinka, rest in peace. Anyway, when he was running against her, she wasn't married at the time, and her child, she had one son, and he was grown. So they had this family persona. Like, look at us. We're the Kennedys. We're the Kennedys of Illinois. Please vote for
And
us.
Pat Quinn had no children, right?
Yeah, well, no, he has 2
Oh,
sons.
he has 2
They're
sons.
a year
Okay.
apart, but he was
All right.
divorced.
He was divorced. That's what I
Yes.
meant.
Let's go to Mark, who's in Crest Hill. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Bruce and Amy.
Good morning.
No matter who goes up against Hillary in the general election during the debates, the first thing I would do if I were them, when it comes to the fake war on women and women's support, you know what, Hillary? You are married to a suspected serial rapist. You've known that through your entire marriage, and when the victims came out of the closet, what did you do, Hillary? You hired private eyes to shut them up. You want to talk about a war on women?
Good point,
Yeah,
Mark.
you know what? Did you see the question? You probably talked about it on the air. the day that Hillary was asked at one of these public forums because Hillary had said that we should believe women who accuse men of rape. We should initially believe, which just absolutely turns the Constitution on its head, because you're supposedly innocent
Right to
until
due
proven guilty.
process, yes.
But she said we should believe them at first. And this woman asked the question, well, should we have believed Juanita Broaddrick? And
what did Hillary do?
well, I mean, she did some gobbledygook and whatever. And I actually had sympathy for Hillary, because how can you withstand that kind of stuff? How can you sit there and take a question from somebody who's accused your husband of raping somebody and just pretend like it's nothing?
Let's quickly go to Vin, who joins us from St. Charles.
Hey, I would just like to make a point. I find it interesting that Hillary Clinton knows so much about videos. I mean, she knows about videos about some poor guy in California made a video that caused a Benghazi attack, and now
Good point.
You know, and then she knows what videos ISIS is going to be putting out and what ISIS is going to be using for their recruitment propaganda. Did she fly over there and
no, it was sloppy. It was a sloppy answer, and that's the easy way out. George in Monique. Good morning, George.
Hey, Amy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey,
if we ever get a attorney general who's not a zealot, and Bill and Hillary go to jail, will they have to go to jail at like different times, like the Jacksons, so they can babysit the grandkids?
Absolutely. Thank you for because they got to babysit for the grandchildren.
There you go.
Totally right.
Good point. The Clinton clan is expanding.
And I suppose it's only fair to say, don't you someday want to see a woman president of the United States of America?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the protesters keep hounding City Hall, but do they know he's not there? We'll explain, but first, here's your forecast.
Yeah, and it's all about, your convenience in getting home. Okay. Today, areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle. Otherwise, rather cloudy, a high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. On Friday, Christmas Day, times of clouds and sun, a high of 44, a low Friday night of 34. Now for a check of traffic, here's Dominic Fortini.
Pretty convenient getting around today. Lighter traffic volume, but still delayed on the inbound Kennedy. 25 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Brake lights come on at North Avenue. Inbound side of the Ike, 34 minutes. Thorndale in. Watch for some delays near Costner. And inbound Stevenson slows Pulaski to Kedzie. 39 minutes from 355 into Lakeshore Drive. Only a minor delay on the inbound Ryan. 21 minutes. 95th into downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
A great night out awaits you courtesy of ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Take advantage of a deal for a sumptuous dinner at the award-winning Buckingham Steakhouse. Enjoy an evening surrounded by luxurious decor and attentive service, all while dining on the finest and prime steaks and seafood. You can buy a $100 certificate for only $60. Tired of visiting the usual burger joints? Give your taste buds a thrill at Prime Burger House. Be blown away with the decadence of their handcrafted creations like the Surf and Turf Burger, which combines their butchered on-site prime beef patty with a lobster tail perched on top. Wow, that sounds interesting. Can we have one of those now? It sounds good. A $50 gift certificate is only $30 on ChicagoRadioDeals.com. There are even awesome deals for the Indulge Show Kitchen seafood buffets and regular buffet. These family-friendly restaurants are located in the Pavilion at Grand Victoria in Elgin. See details at ChicagoRadioDeals.com and the restaurant listings. Check in every week for dinner and entertainment deals at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Here's Dr. Howard, formulator of Balance of Nature, an all-natural, 100% organic fruit and vegetable supplement.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Get real today with Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
Hi, this is Shalom Klein of Get Down to Business, the show for small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Powered by Tandem HR. On January 1st of 2016, the Affordable Care Act's transitional rules for small and mid-sized employers expire, and the employer health care mandate will apply to all employers with an average of 50 or more full-time employees. You need to be planning for 2016 now. If you have fewer than 50 employees, you still have some research to do. Your company may be eligible for certain tax credits. If eligible, these credits can help defray the costs associated with providing healthcare coverage. Understanding exactly whom employers must cover and why they become subject to the employer mandate isn't always clear. Consult appropriate advisors to make sure that you understand which provisions of the Affordable Care Act apply to your organization. Stay compliant and avoid penalties. For more tips, advice, and stories of entrepreneurial successes, listen to Get Down to Business with me, Shalom Klein, heard Sunday evenings at 6. Your Business Minute of the Day is brought to you by Everett Wealth Solutions.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, it never ends, never ends. All these protests. Oh, I keep hearing them in my head. They just won't go away. I have it memorized. And when I used to live in El Paso, it was El Pueblo Unido Jamás será vencido.
What is that? Remember the Pueblo?
That the people
Commander
united.
Lloyd Booker?
The people united will never be defeated.
Oh,
But,
I see.
All right, so yesterday, the little kitties, I love calling them that. There are about 30 of them. They have these really fancy boxes, and I printed a picture for you that says, Rahm and Alvarez must resign. So they brought 250,000 signatures from people across the country calling for Rahm Emanuel and Anita Alvarez to resign. The petitions were stacked in those fancy boxes and carried over to the 5th floor. Problem is, kitties, Rahm's in Cuba and Anita's on vacation as well. But I'd like to introduce you to Scott Roberts. He's with the Color of Change group. Have you ever heard of the Color of Change group?
Rahm Emanuel and Anita Alvarez are not the leadership that Chicago needs. Chicago needs new leadership.
Do they know that they're not there?
We're here to deliver these petitions. Over 250,000 people from around the country and thousands of people here in Chicago are calling for the resignations.
You know, Amy, normally I'd be with you on this, and I know it's, caused you great inconvenience in getting home and going shopping.
2 times I've been stopped by them.
I totally understand.
One time I was trying to go to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. The other time I thought it'd be a good idea to drive down Michigan Avenue to see the Christmas lights.
I get it.
Dumb.
I totally get it. But here's the thing.
Yes.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And they're going to take Rahm Emanuel down. At least I hope they will. And I am sympathetic to what they're doing. Here's the problem. They are doing things that are illegal. Rahm Emanuel will not arrest them en masse because he's got to let the steam come out. And if he puts the lid on the whole thing's going to explode. So that's why he's doing that, and he's inconveniencing you. But, come on, he can't get away with this.
I know, but don't confuse activity with accomplishment. 250,000 signatures from across the country. That's not what we need. We need 88 signatures from people in Chicago if they want to recall Rahm Emanuel. And plus, too, they have to pass.
We need 2 people.
They have to pass the recall bill first.
We're not gonna protest.
We're not gonna protest.
We're not gonna protest.
We're not gonna protest. We're not gonna protest.
We're not gonna protest.
We're not gonna protest.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You are a sign business, you want to grow, and you want to make more money. So do I. I want to partner with you. This is Dave Carlson, and my sign company is Franco Carlson & Company. We've been doing business in Chicago since 1894. With millions of dollars of state-of-the-art equipment, we can do any job. Trade shows, bus and vehicle wraps, banners for special events, even custom wallpaper. We can help you expand your sign business. If there is an order, any order, or a piece of business that you don't have the capabilities to do yourself, we can do it with you. You don't have to turn away any sign or print business any longer. Speed and quality to meet your deadlines. You have my word on that. Expand your sign business. Take any order. Make more money. Become a partner with Franco Carlson and Company. Contact me for a quote or stop by for a tour of our shop. Franco Carlson and Company. We are the sign company's partner.
Call Franco Carlson and Company at 773-847-6900. 773-847-6900.
Hey, take a look in the mirror. Do you see those bags under your eyes? Imagine them gone. Bruce, do you have bags under your eyes? Let me see. No, you don't.
I have bags under my bags.
Okay. This is the last week, though, for the Chamonix holiday sale. If you want to try and get rid of those bags and puffiness under your eyes, do it safely and naturally.
I have paper on one side and plastic on the other.
Genucell plant stem cell therapy for bags and puffiness really helps reduce the conditions. Rosa from New Jersey loves it. My sister uses it. I use it. I love it. My sister's skin looks really good.
Do you remember when John Kerry was at a Boston game at Fenway Park, and it was actually Botox at the Bo Sox game? Go ahead.
Okay, and with its instant effects, you'll see results in the first 12 hours guaranteed or your money back. But don't wait. This crazy sale ends this week. Order now, and you'll also get the legendary, Esotique face cream as a free gift. I gave that to my sister for Christmas. No, I just told her it was free. So call 800.
What, was she insulted?
No, I mean.
You saying I have bags? You're the beautiful one.
800
Why did you have to be the pretty one?
800-525-8323. That's 800-525-8323. Call now, and express holiday shipping is also completely free. 800-525-8323.
AM 560, The Answer.
And coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, wait until you hear how much attorneys took home from the Laquan McDonald settlement. And one of our favorites, Jason Van Dyke's defense attorney, Dan Herbert, will be here. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
I'm sorry, Bruce. I can't resist another John Kerry joke. It's been impossible for John to carry those bags for years.
Hi-yo!
Thank you. Cloudy and 41 degrees outside. We're watching developments in the South today as a U.S. soldier freed in a controversial prison swap with the Taliban goes to military court today. We get the very latest on the Bo Bergdahl story with Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Bo Bergdahl will be arraigned at Fort Bragg, North Carolina on charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. The 29-year-old walked off his post in Afghanistan in 2009 and was seized by the Taliban. Since his release in May of last year, Sergeant Bergdahl has been on desk duty at Joint Base San Antonio in Texas. Bergdahl told the podcast Serial he left his base to hike to another Army base to report concerns about soldier safety to a general, and that he had hopes of becoming some kind of super soldier. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
A San Francisco Bay Area man in police custody this morning after officers acting on a tip descended on his home where a bomb squad safely detonated a possible explosive device. Residents were evacuated during that operation. A double milestone for Elon Musk's private launch company, SpaceX. The company got back into the satellite business yesterday after an accident last summer set it back. It also The most remarkable part of the mission was the safe return of the 15-story leftover booster, which landed vertically at Cape Canaveral. Officials in Oregon this morning say the woman who slammed her car through crowds on the Las Vegas Strip was driving on a suspended license. Las Vegas Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo says they're still in the process of digging into the suspect Lakeisha Holloway's background.
She had some disassociation with the father of her child, and then events prior to the event, her being what we believe to be in Las Vegas approximately a week and homeless and residing within her vehicle.
Lakeisha Holloway killed one and injured 30 others. An Indian paramilitary plane crashes just outside New Delhi's main airport, killing all 10 on board. That plane belonged to the India Borders Security Force. No felony crime committed in the treatment of a black woman who formerly resided in the Chicago suburbs. Sandra Bland died in a Texas jail last summer. A grand jury, a Waller County grand jury in Texas, reached no decision on whether the state trooper who arrested the 28-year-old should face charges. The grand jury will reconvene in January to consider that question. Chicago fire officials mopping up again this morning after flames broke out overnight in the extra alarm warehouse fire that burned through a building in the 3000 block of North Rockwell. That 3-story warehouse suffered major damage when a portion of the roof collapsed. And police are looking for a man and a woman who stole an expensive jacket from a Magnificent Mile store. How expensive, you ask? Well, authorities say both suspects entered the business on Michigan Avenue last week and swiped an alligator skin jacket worth $95,000. Chicago sports, Brooklyn beat the Bulls 105-102. Last night in the NFL, Lions beat the Saints 35-27. The news, a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates and Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands or get the gift that always fits, Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss Cabela's Christmas sale. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager wants answers from the president.
What law would he have passed that would have stopped the San Bernardino massacre? If you can tell me of an effective law that would have allowed the law-abiding citizen to get guns, but not these people, I want to know what they are. So I always ask, what do you propose? And then there are crickets.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. If you have a pre-existing condition, a canceled plan, or your premium increased, now's the time to get covered. 2016 open enrollment begins on November 1st and ends on January 31st. During this 90-day window, you cannot be denied coverage. Depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. The new healthcare law is very complicated and you do need guidance. It costs you nothing to use a broker, so why not tap into my expertise?
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
7:35 here in Chicago. We're watching a developing story this morning in southwest Arkansas. 3 killed, 7 injured in chain reaction crashes this morning. And it could bottle up I-49. Folks hitting the road this morning, maybe heading out for their holiday travel. It's I-49. It may be closed for the entire day, maybe more than that after this chain reaction crash this morning in southwest Arkansas. Here locally, let's get an update on the roads in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Well, Mike, certainly nothing like that going on around here. Eden's pretty quiet still. Light traffic volume on the inbound Kennedy this morning. 25 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 15 in from the junction, 11 in the inbound Express. Outbound side, a little bit of delay on the west end near Lawrence. Inbound Stevenson, slows state to Lakeshore, 32 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, while the inbound Ryan sits at 21 minutes, 95th into downtown with some slow spots as you approach the Stevenson. Traffic's a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates and Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all your favorite brands or get the gifts that always fits, Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Fog this morning, spotty drizzle in the area. 45 for a high temp, 38 in fog right now. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Autumn Leaves Memory Care Communities, now open in Glen Ellen. Take a virtual tour at autumnleaves.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Tuesday morning and welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm Amy Jacobson. Dan Proft taking a few days off, well-deserved few days off, and Bruce Wolf is sitting in for him. Hi. So Bruce used to be an attorney, right?
I still am. As a matter of fact, thanks for reminding me because I got to send in my money for the annual fee.
Oh, good. Well, somebody who got a large chunk of change, a fee, was Laquan McDonald's attorneys, the family's attorney. We found out yesterday that they took home $1.8 million
see,
of that $5 million.
40% would have been $2 million. So what's the standard? A third?
No, that's 33%.
Is that third?
Not that I know, but I know. And you don't pay taxes on that, by the way. So the money that Laquan McDonald's family received, you don't pay taxes on. I don't know if attorneys do because we have this new service tax that's coming our way.
Well, but it's income tax. They got to pay income tax.
Yeah, so lawyers Jeffrey Nesland and Michael Robbins originally asked the city for $16 million on behalf of Laquan's mom.
One for each bullet.
Yeah, $1 million for each shot fired at McDonald's. So the attorneys defend their fees, though, saying 40% is the norm in federal civil suits. Now let's go to the other side, the defense side. And a returning guest to the program, Dan Herbert, who is the attorney for the officer Jason Van Dyke. Good morning, Dan. How are you? Hi, Dan. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was my bad on this end. So Friday you went to court to face more charges, 6 counts of first-degree murder. And what other charge came down on your client?
They put down an obstruction of justice, which is pretty typical for police officers when they're charged with felonies.
So what does that obstruction of justice charge mean? What are they alleging?
It's essentially they committed a crime while acting in their official capacity. It's a Class 3 felony. It's, quite frankly, the least of our concerns.
All right. So on Friday, you expressed to the media, and so did Laquan's McDonald's family, that they want a change of venue. How do you go about that process?
It's something that we will explore after we're assigned a judge, which will be next week. Normally it's pretty much a long shot to get, but in this case, I think that we certainly can make a reasonable argument based on the comments that the mayor has been making for the last 3 weeks.
I thought when the mayor, and I saw him speak before the Politburo, I guess, at the city council that day, he convicted your client. He said that, that he said he was guilty. I mean, basically, he didn't use the word guilt, I don't think, but he did. And if that doesn't bias the jury pool, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I agree. And, I was a little bit angry, to be quite honest, about the way it continued. And, as my dad used to say, adversity doesn't create character, or it reveals character. And, this was an example of the mayor really showing selective anger here. There have been so many events that have occurred under his administration. For example, we have dozens and dozens of examples of qualified individuals that have been discriminated against in the hiring process for the police department. Military veterans who led elite units in combat. We have one individual that was in charge of President Bush's bodyguard detail, and he comes to Chicago and they tell him, "You're not qualified to be a Chicago police officer." I mean, it's the most abysmal hiring system, and I alerted his administration to this. Of course, they did everything but correct it because they wanted to get rid of this Shackman decree so that it would be political favor for him. So I'm angered at the selective outrage here.
We're talking with Dan Herbert, the attorney for Jason Van Dyke, the officer charged with murder. And I'll stipulate that the mayor is a weasel. Here's the thing is, about the mayor is, I actually believe that the video should have been disclosed, but that's another issue. And of course, now he's just trying to cover himself, and he, has that money shot at the city council where he says, and I feel bad for black people, black boys who are treated, discriminated against. And we all do. We all feel bad about it, but I also feel bad for the black voters of the city of Chicago who are effectively disenfranchised.
Sorry for interrupting, but instead of saying that, he should have said, if police pull you over or ask you to drop your weapon, stop and listen to police.
Okay. Here's the thing. I like to get to the defense, and I don't want you to give away your defense necessarily, but it seems to me that I've heard like two things floating around it. One is that your client, Officer Van Dyke, might have thought that Laquan McDonald presented a danger to the community, right in that neighborhood, whatever, and had to be stopped. That's one prong. The other thing I heard, and I didn't know this at all, was it came right out of like an Ian Fleming James Bond novel, because it seemed like that there are things called knives that shoot bullets. Can you address those two possible avenues of defense?
Yeah, well, starting with the first one, as I've said, I'm not going to try the case in the media, but, it is no secret that my client fired for not only concern for himself, but also the community and his fellow officers. And then with respect to the James Bond reference you made, it's actually interesting. I wasn't aware of it, but I found out through my client and other police officers that relatively soon before the shooting, the police department put out some type of instructional video which talked about these guns that are made to look like knives, and they're being circulated and active throughout the country, and I think including the Chicagoland area. So that was a pretty interesting factoid that the city of Chicago provided to the police officers.
Yep, and the FOP, I remember reading that memo. They put that out as well. Now, many people have a question about the night in question. How many hours had Jason Van Dyke been on duty before the shooting occurred?
That's a good question, Amy. Let me think about that. I think it was relatively early in his shift. I've been looking at so much other things with the case. I think it was about 2 or 3 hours into his tour.
And then on that dash cam video, we didn't have any audio, and we learned yesterday that 80% of Chicago police officers' vehicles, these dash cams had their audios either broken, sometimes turned off, allegedly by police officers. Do you think audio would have helped or hurt your client in this case?
Well, it would not have hurt him for sure. From what we understand, this individual was, he was not making any overt threats orally. So it wouldn't have helped in that regard. But I think audio always helps paint a more fuller picture. And that's really what is going to be required in this case, as well as most other cases. You have to really let the trier of fact, as best as they can, you let the trier of fact experience what the client was experiencing at the time.
Now, there's also, there were other officers there. They did not shoot, and that is something that you will have to overcome.
They didn't have to.
Weren't they there?
Amy, I want you on my jury.
Exactly. You don't want me on your jury, although I will tell you, I was once the foreman on a federal jury, and I said guilty 27 times. Okay, so you might want me on. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't want guilty. Okay.
Well, is that common, though? Because the other video that was released, not the Coleman video, the one after your client's, gosh, I can't remember his name. Johnson, thank you. They just showed one police officer firing on Johnson. They didn't open up, every officer on the scene didn't open up and fire at the suspect.
It's not unusual in any way that other individuals don't fire and some do. A lot of it is based upon, a couple of different feet, one way or the other, positioning could change the dynamic and the perspective of one officer tremendously.
Here's your case. I don't, and I only have taken continuing legal education courses in criminal law, so I don't consider myself an expert here.
Here you go.
But here's your case, okay?
Wait, let him get pen and paper to write down. This is advice from Bruce Wolf.
He's good at this. As Anita Alvarez documented in the Ronald Johnson case, and I'm glad you brought it up, and I didn't even know this. She showed video of how suspects can be running and can turn around and shoot at you. Now, if Laquan McDonald happened to have had, or the officer Van Dyke reasonably believed that Laquan McDonald had one of those knives, guns that look like knives, he could have turned around and shot him. That's just one possibility there. I'm just throwing that out to you.
Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate it. Obvious. If the trier of fact believes that my client reasonably believed that this individual is armed with something that could shoot projectiles like a gun, then without a doubt it's going to be not guilty.
And one thing that people don't see is the 18 minutes before that dash cam video started, when he was going up to people and he was brandishing a knife, threatening people, then going to the trucking yard, slashing tires. He even had the audacity to slash a police vehicle's
but that
tires.
Could be bad for him, too, because if he knows that it's a knife, then it's not a gun that looks like a knife.
But still, he was terrorizing the community, and he didn't listen to police.
Is this helping you, Dan, our little colloquy here?
I tell you, it's good. But, it is a good point. The public doesn't want to know this, and people don't want to recognize this fact, but at the end of the day, this situation needed to end. And, my client didn't shoot this individual to end the situation, but, you have to stop and think, well, how is this situation going to end? There was no reason for anyone to believe that it was going to end peacefully based upon the numerous opportunities that were given to Mr. McDonald. And, at some point, the police need to take action because they are the last line of defense. And if Mr. McDonald, God forbid, had, stabbed some poor young child prior to the police shooting him, certainly there would be an outcry from a different angle.
And I truly believe that, and he did not shoot him because he was an African American. He shot him because he was terrorizing the community.
But there's the problem.
Right,
with
race is it didn't come into play in that
just to be fair here, I mean, it's going to be a problem because Laquan McDonald was on the ground, and then all those bullets were fired then too.
But aren't they taught to empty their rounds?
Not when the guy's on the ground already necessarily. But
they're taught to shoot until the threat is eliminated. And, the fact that it's on the ground makes it more difficult, but it doesn't in any way mean that it makes it unjustified.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan Herbert, for taking time to spend with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good Christmas.
Thanks. You too. Merry Christmas. Dan Herbert, attorney for Jason Van Dyke, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm an attorney wannabe, so I appreciated getting to do that. Even though I actually am an attorney, I'm an attorney wannabe. Today, areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle, otherwise rather cloudy, a high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. On Friday, Christmas Day, times of clouds and sun, high of 44, low Friday night at 34. Now it's time for a check of the traffic with Dominic Fortini.
Inbound side of the Kennedy rolling well, 20 minutes O'Hare to downtown 10, and from the junction, the outbound side at 25 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Eisenhower in decent shape. Inbound Stevenson on the brakes at State into Lakeshore, 32 minutes and improving from 355 into Lakeshore Drive, while the inbound Ryan at 21 minutes, 95th into downtown. Westbound side of the Jane Addams, an earlier crash, still slow in traffic between the Tri-State and Toohey, but everything else continues to roll in decent shape. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, if you're sick of hearing about how much I love MyPillow, listen to Chuck. He's an AM 560 The Answer listener and a MyPillow user.
I was usually a very tossy-turny kind of sleeper trying to get comfortable. But once I got to MyPillow, it'll sound strange, but like I said, you put your head down, you're comfortable, and you just go to sleep.
It's heavenly. MyPillow buy one, get one free offer still available for a limited time. It's great for Christmas. Keep one for yourself. Give one as a gift. MyPillow, American-made, washable. It keeps its shape to give you support where you need it most. That's why it's the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. For the MyPillow buy one, get one free offer, plus 60-day money-back guarantee, visit MyPillow.com. Type Amy in the promo code. Do it now. Again, this offer is for a limited time. 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Are you in foreclosure, behind in the mortgage, underwater with a mortgage? Well, you'd be not alone. In fact, there's 20 million other American families in the same boat as you. And this came about not because these families decided to commit bank fraud, because they were the victims of fraud by the Wall Street investment bankers and the banks that now service the mortgages. But there are some things you do. My partner, I'm Lou Bridges, my partner Scott O and I have put together a firm, a team of people to help people like you. We apply for modifications, we defend a foreclosure, we apply a restructuring, we explore a short sale, and investors who may buy the home and lease it back to you. But whatever your objectives are, you need to have a competent legal counsel. But whatever you do, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you will never be alone. Call us for a free consultation.
Call 224-513-1231 or visit FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. That's 224-513-1231 or FightIllinoisForeclosures.com.
Are you living with prostate enlargement? Do you pee more often than you used to? Do you wake up to go? Be honest. Is there a drop in your romantic life? Prostate problems don't go away on their own. So you need to call for a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 non-prescription formula for your prostate. The ingredients are natural, With Super Beta Prostate, you'll have less urges to urinate, less waking at night, and an improvement in your romantic life, guaranteed. Try it for free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-317-7853. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Stop running to the bathroom and call us now for your free bottle. Hurry, this free offer won't last. Just call 1-800-317-7853. That's 1-800-317-7853. 1-800-317-7853.
AM 560, The Answer.
So do you not, you like Jeb Bush's new look? He's the tough guy. On Saturday, he was in New Hampshire at a
He's
town.
a tough guy. Looks like a South Park character with those beady eyes and behind the glasses.
He was in New Hampshire on Saturday at a town hall meeting and talking tough on Trump.
I got to get this off my chest. Donald Trump is a jerk. You cannot insult your way to the presidency. You can't disparage women, Hispanics, disabled people. Who is he kidding?
He's channeling George Costanza. The jerk store called and they ran out of you. And he came up with it like Costanza way too late. It's too late. You're done, Jeb. You're finished. I'm at 43%. You're at nothing. You're finished, Jeb. I understand that.
Well, and a strange turn of events. Yesterday, Jeb Bush defended Donald Trump. He was with Bill Bennett. You know Bill Bennett from Salem Radio.
Sure.
And he was defending Donald Trump about Hillary's accusations about the ISIS video.
And by the way, Hillary Clinton suggesting that that Donald Trump is being used in the ISIS recruiting video. Man, talk about chutzpah. There's no evidence of that.
Right.
There's no evidence of that at all.
He said, talk about chutzpah, which I called chutzpah. That came from a...
Your last name's Jacobson. I thought you were Jewish.
I'm the tortoise in the race, but I'm a joyful tortoise.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you suffer from depression, consider TMS, an incredible new advancement in treating and relieving depression. Medications may not work and can cause serious side effects.
I'm Jim Marks, a medical director at Theramind Services and a board-certified psychiatrist for over 22 years. If you or someone you love suffers from depression, TMS can change your life. I've witnessed its transformative results in my patients for years.
TMS, or transcranial magnetic stimulation, is a safe, non-invasive, and highly effective treatment for drug-resistant depression. Over 50,000 patients have been helped by TMS. Most insurance companies cover TMS, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Medicare. Depression can be beaten, and without drugs. Schedule a free consultation with Theramind, with locations throughout Chicagoland. If you suffer from depression, do something about it. Call Theramind, 847-562-5868, or go to tmsmind.com.
This is Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Policy Institute. 97. That's the percentage of Chicago Teachers Union members who voted yes in a recent mock vote. Yes, they voted. They are prepared to go out on strike for the second time in 4 years. The annual average CPS teacher salary is just under $80,000. And that's before you include their health insurance benefits and guaranteed seven-figure pensions. The bankrupt, junk-rated Chicago public schools spend more than $15,000 annually per pupil, and yet 75% of 4th and 8th graders are neither proficient in reading nor math. This in a system of nearly 400,000 students. So who's the bad guy here? Is it the teachers union or the mayor's office? Yes, there are no white hats in the story of central planners from City Hall fighting with the central planners from the teachers union over who gets to be the lead central planner at CPS. If the teachers strike, they deserve to be unlocked from their jobs. CPS students deserve access to schools that will give them the opportunity to earn an education that sets them on a course for success in life. The only way that happens is if the adults inside CPS, the parents, and the adults outside CPS, state political leaders, change the flow of money away from central planners and to families so that they may make the same choices for their children that Tiny Dancer did for his kids matriculating at the University of Chicago Lab School. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Prout.
And now, a moment of objectivism with your Ron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Everyone from Hillary Clinton and Ted Cruz to Rob Lau and Angelina Jolie say they've been inspired by Ayn Rand's most famous novel, Atlas Shrugged. What's the appeal? Atlas Shrugged grapples with the fundamental questions of human existence, presenting radically new answers. Is the pursuit of profit a noble enterprise or the root of all evil? Is sexual passion an exalted spiritual virtue or a dirty animalistic vice? Is reason an absolute Or is faith an alternative source of truth? These are just a few of the timeless questions Ayn Rand explores in Atlas Shrugged, and her thought-provoking answers and intriguing characters will have you turning the pages for more. Pick up a copy of Atlas Shrugged today and visit ARIradio.com to learn more about the ideas in Ayn Rand's masterwork. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brooks Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ARIradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream.
Here are the stories we are watching today here on AM 560. The Answer. A family slams a grand jury probe of a jail cell death. Bond denied for the man charged with murdering his wife. Chicago firm among the finalists for the Obama library design. There is a transition underway for parents in the state of Illinois from the ACT to the SAT. Nets knock off the Bulls. And WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He's still the Republican frontrunner.
Amazing.
And Donald Trump last night, cheered by thousands in Michigan, said it was a love fest. But a new poll that has him on top of the Republican race also shows 50% of Americans would be embarrassed if Trump was president. 1 in 3 say the same thing about Hillary Clinton. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the new Quinnipiac national poll shows Trump leading the GOP race with 28%. Ted Cruz a close second with 24%, followed by Marco Rubio and Ben Carson. This is Trump wants Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton to apologize for suggesting ISIS is using him as a recruitment tool.
There is no video at all, and that's been now confirmed.
Clinton suggested terrorists are circulating videos of Trump talking about Muslims. Her campaign spokesman says there will be no apology. Dave.
Rachel, the U.S. soldier charged with misbehavior before the enemy and desertion will be arraigned today at Fort Bragg. Bo Bergdahl could ultimately face life in prison.
Bergdahl is accused of leaving his post in Afghanistan before he was captured by the Taliban. He was held for 5 years and freed in a controversial prisoner swap for 5 Guantanamo Bay detainees. His attorney has argued he was suffering from a mental defect when he left his post.
That's Fox's Lisa Brady. An elementary school has been bombed in Syria. State TV claims 9 young girls were killed, blaming terrorists. An opposition group says 20 people were wounded. A grand jury in Texas has refused to indict any sheriff's officials or jailers in the death of a woman found hanging in her cell. Sandra Bland's family questions what was ruled a suicide, saying everything is kept secret. This is their mother.
I simply can't have faith in a system that's not inclusive of my family.
The same grand jury will consider if the trooper who arrested Bland after a controversial traffic stop will be indicted. 3 people are dead and after chain reaction crashes on an Arkansas highway around midnight. 7 others were injured as 10 vehicles got involved in the pileup. One of them a truck carrying glue that spilled all over the road. Fog may have been a factor. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Fog developing across the area this morning, 38 degrees, winds out of the west at 9. 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. I'm Mike Scott. No felony crime committed in the treatment of Sandra Bland, a black woman who died in a Texas jail last summer. That according to a grand jury on Monday.
The grand jury also considered things that occurred at the jail and did not return an indictment.
Special Prosecutor Daryl Jordan says the Waller County grand jury reached no decision on whether the trooper who arrested the 28-year-old should face charges. A grand jury will reconvene again in January. A Houston area man charged last week in the 1973 death of his wife in Chicago's northwest suburbs is being held without bond while being hospitalized. Donnie Rudd did not appear in court yesterday. His attorney says the man is being treated at a suburban hospital for a bacterial skin infection. Rudd was reported, the man's wife was reported killed in a car accident in Barrington Township less than a month after they were married. Bond hearing is scheduled for Thursday. A U.S. Senate candidate accused of underpaying workers at his pizza franchise is ordered to make up for the loss of pay. State Senator Democrat Napoleon Harris reached a deal in court yesterday where more than $23,000 in back pay is required for 39 employees at Beggar's Pizza in Harvey. Illinois makes a big change with a big impact on parents with its college entrance exam. State Board of Ed replacing the ACT with the SAT after signing a new 3-year contract worth over $14 million. That process could be delayed since the ACT has filed a protest with the state. Chicago sports, Jimmy Butler had 24, but the infighting continues, and the Bulls lost their third straight, this time to Brooklyn, 105-102. On the ice tonight, the Blackhawks, slightly better in terms of what's going on both on and off the ice, take on Dallas at 7:30. The news, a service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates and Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands, or give the gift that always fits, Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Hank Weinblum.
From the Fox Business Network, the holiday gift for drivers this year, sharply lower gas prices, with the national average below $2 a gallon, and that's causing a jump in auto sales. And that is a business opportunity for a number of companies because of the strong sales and higher dealer profits. More and more dealerships are changing hands, so your local car dealership may now be owned by a publicly traded company. Google and Ford could be driving forward together. Automotive News says Google is in talks with the automaker to help build the internet search company's cars. The force may be with investors. The Fox Business Network says a number of companies may see a boost because of the popularity of the new Star Wars movie. Among the companies besides Disney that may be helped are Mattel, Electronic Arts, IMAX, Hasbro, and Walmart, also AMC and Jakks Pacific. Look for a flat stock market opening after yesterday's 123-point surge in the Dow. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Hank Weinblum.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, want to step into my cough cloud?
Your what?
Baby, when I cough, I expel a cloud of droplets that hangs in the air all around me. It's wet, wild, and potentially virus-filled. And it's big enough for two.
Ugh, cough clouds are sick. So take Robitussin DM Max. It soothes your throat and delivers fast, powerful cough relief. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough. Use as directed.
Guys, if you've been using or wanting to try Viagra but are worried about the costs, we have great news. Now you can finally get real results at huge discounts with our Healthy Men alternative to the little blue pill. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get results for a fraction of the price? Call today and get 40 pills for only $99. Others cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us if you want real results at the lowest prices. Never pay $15 a pill for Viagra when you can get real results for less than $3 per pill. Call 800-618-0945 today and save over $500. You can have those breathtaking, toe-curling moments again and again. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Call right now and we'll rush you your supply delivered discreetly to your door. Just call 800-618-0945. That's 800-618-0945. Again, 800-618-0945.
8:07 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Already roads starting to clear out. Inbound side of the Kennedy at 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Just some minor delays slowing you down at Ogden through the Burn Circle. Outbound side, a little bit of a slowdown on the west end at Lawrence. Inbound Stevenson gets on the brakes from State Street to Lakeshore Drive. 32 minutes from 355 into the drive, while the inbound Ryan at 21 minutes, 95th into downtown. We've got some issues on the northbound side of the tri-state with some minor delays between 88 and 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, rather cloudy, high 45. Then tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, low 39, but temperatures rising into the upper 40s overnight. Breezy with occasional rain tomorrow, high 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
39 at O'Hare. Heavy fog developing in spots. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A war of words has broken out between the two frontrunners for president. Donald Trump wants Hillary Clinton to apologize for something she said in the latest debate.
He is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. They are going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims.
She should apologize. She lies about emails. She lies about Whitewater. She lies about everything. She will be a disaster.
I have to apologize.
Host Steve Harvey admitting he read the wrong name. The real winner, Miss Philippines.
I will take responsibility for this.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning and welcome back to the Chicago's Morning Answer with Amy Jacobson and Bruce Wolf, who's filling in for Dan Proft.
Top of the morning.
Yes, thanks for being here. And you know, a hot Christmas item, because Christmas is on Friday, are drones. The government is predicting that 1 million people will open up drones, will receive drones as Christmas gifts this holiday season. And just in time.
How many are there right now?
Well, we'll get to that in a second. But there's millions of them. I think there's about 3 million, and that's about to increase dramatically. But as promised, Bruce, the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, launched its drone registry program yesterday. So if you have a drone of any kind that weighs more than a half a pound and less than 55 pounds, you have until February 19th, 2016 to register. So put yourself on notice. And there are fines, and they could be hefty, and prison time if you don't comply with the government. With that, let's go to Paul Hubel, who has more information. He's a drone advocate, also a former Chicago police officer and a private investigator. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. How are you? I hope it's not too cold where you are.
Oh, no. It's plenty warm. It's a good drone flying weather, because yesterday my son received a drone on Sunday, and we went out flying the drone, but we didn't register it. So
how heavy?
It's under a half a pound. Thank goodness. But it's close. So first of all, just tell us what you have to do if you own a drone that weighs half a pound or more.
Well, the FAA claims that you're going to have to register it because they took their regulatory authority, and I think they've overreached it significantly. When you say have to, that's a question that's really left to the courts. And the American Model Aircraft Association has suggested to all of its membership not to register until further notice, because they're going to challenge this in court. Now, Amy, you have a minor son that has a drone, and accordingly, if he registers the drone, his name and home address will be on a public accessible database on the internet, because the FAA has published that as a public record. And I don't think that's right for juveniles to have their personal information posted.
No, because a lot of kids are receiving drones this year. They at first wanted hoverboards, but that's not working out so well. So the next gift on the Santa wish list is a drone. So how many people own drones right now?
Well, I think you said it a little earlier correctly. With the Christmas rush right now, I think we're going to be up to 3 million. And really what's most interesting about that is that with already 2 million out there, we have 0 deaths, 0 serious injuries, 0 property damage. In comparison, 7,000 registered helicopters get into 1 fatality a week, serious property damage somewhere in the United States. The drones are much safer, and the FAA, frankly, has been acting like thugs, unregulated. They get to do whatever they want. And
yeah, but Paul, you have to admit that there have been several times, and you hear the audio here from traffic control towers saying the pilot There's a drone near me. There's a drone in the area. And that's why they think that these drones pose a danger. Do they pose a danger?
Let's talk about that for a second. The FAA claimed a few months ago that they had 700 near-miss complaints that were out there. We all carry smartphones in our pocket to capture video and stills, including pilots. There's not one photograph. There's not one video. There's not one captured drone. There's not
now
one
your
arrest.
next thing you're going to tell me is there are no UFOs, too. Look,
That's exactly right.
Actually, basically what you're saying is that if we're going to register these, we should register baseballs because they cause more property damage if you hit them in the neighbor's window. Or maybe we should register paper airplanes that kids put together as well.
Well, the way the FAA has written their regulations, they can regulate paper airplanes. Okay, I mean it's ridiculous. You know it, and I know it. Now, the real issue here is prior restraint. The FAA has done a great job when it comes to conventional aircrafts. They've written these regulations, and every one of them is written in blood, based on a real tragedy, a real accident. But when it came to our little camera drones that have still not been in anything of any significance, they decided that they're going to do it by prior restraint.
Yeah, but Paul, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of regulations.
But we don't operate on prior restraint because we could say because someone is going to get killed in the next 24 hours in an automobile accident, we better ground every automobile and park it. Period.
All right. Well, in the government's defense, Paul, I just want to point out that they say there was a massive California fire and a drone impeded firefighters from pouring flame retardant materials on the fire. They pointed to the U.S. Open where a drone landed in the stands. They pointed to multiple times at the White House where a drone landed on the White House lawn. Is that a serious threat?
Well, it's not a serious threat, and there was a drunken government employee with respect to that White House drone. Okay.
Hey, Paul, let him finish. And what
the
about
sky may fall?
Right, but what about the California fire? Because that was a serious offense.
Amy, that's a great question. First of all the pilots that are fighting fires, their jobs are threatened by drones. Why would you send manned aircraft up when they know that there's going to be drones replacing them? The technology, if it can be stifled, will save their jobs for a while. There's a conflict of interest, and again, there's not one photograph, there's not one
Just hold on
video.
a darn second here, Paul. I happen to know that drones burned 30 black churches in the South last year. Now, here's the thing. You know what? I know all the regulations and everything. I'm kind of a Luddite. I mean, I haven't even gotten Netflix yet. So tell me, tell me about what I can use a drone for. I mean, is this just a toy? What would be good for it? Is that a bad question, Amy?
Okay. It's a great creative instrument. It's a flying camera that'll give you angles that you can never get, obviously, with cranes and ladders and other things that we've been using other than conventional aircraft. I get stunning images. I've actually got 2 film credits for aerial photography in Los Angeles where I shot scenes. They are wonderful for electronic news gathering. Why would you send a $1,500 to $2,000 an hour helicopter to take a picture of some school that is being closed or shut down for a bomb threat when you can send over a little drone for virtually 1% of that cost?
And if I wanted to eavesdrop, for example, on a suspected murderer, instead of setting up a camera in a house next to the suspected murderer, I'd fly overhead right there, right?
Well, you can say that. I'm a licensed private investigator, and my whole job is invading privacy. And I can't figure out how to use a drone to do that because you need the navigation lights on it so you can see it. They make a little bit of noise, and I have to come in for a Cecil B. DeMille close-up. I can't do that from 50 or 100 feet. I have to really come into your face to get that shot.
Paul, are you saying that you could have done a better job of shooting the Israelites crossing the Red Sea than Cecil B. DeMille with your drone?
Oh, there's no question about it. And if you see the latest James Bond flick,
okay,
over the Thames River, they're flying drones. By the way, the UK is much more liberal than we are on them. I was just there about 3 weeks ago, and I know the photographer that shot the drone footage for that James Bond flick. And right now, you can't see a commercial or a TV show or a movie that does not have stunning drone video.
So you believe that this is just a government money grab? I mean, if you look at it, it's free right now to register your drone, Bruce, in case you want it for the next 30 days. But then after that, it's going to be $5. And the registrations are valid for 3 years, so you have to up it again in 3 years. But if you fail to register your drone, it could cost you $27,000 in civil penalties from the FAA. And there's also, criminal penalties as well. And possible 3 years in prison.
3 years in prison. A major felony. And what's laughable here is you can drive a fuel truck, not have a driver's license, not have registration, not have insurance, not have anything. And in all 50 states, the most they could charge you with is a misdemeanor. But if you fly a little drone taking pictures over Millennium Park, and that isn't registered, they can put your butt in prison for 3 years. You said it correctly, Amy. This is a money grab, but it's also a power grab. The FAA, if they could really regulate 3 million little drones, they would have to hire exponentially thousands more inspectors and employees. That would mean bigger paychecks because people would have to get promoted to supervise them.
No, they'll just have the IRS do it because Obamacare is going to collapse, and all the people that they hired, with the IRS to enforce Obamacare will just check on your drones.
You've got it exactly right. Now, here's the thing. We all believe in safety to drone operators, and more importantly, to us personally, they're pretty damn expensive. My drone is about $4,000, and I'm in a little panic every time I see it in the sky that something could go wrong, okay? I'm very careful with it because I want to fly it tomorrow and next week and next year. I don't want my drone to hurt anyone, hurt me, so I police myself.
All right. Thanks, Paul Hubel, a drone advocate. And the key is here, if you buy somebody a drone, just make sure it's under a half pound. Paul Hubel, he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
And now it's time for the weather here. Today, areas of fog this morning with spotty drizzle. Otherwise, rather cloudy, a high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. On Friday, Christmas Day, times of clouds and sun, high of 44, a low Friday night of 34. The weather was brought to you by Salerno Butter Cookies. And now it's time for a check of the traffic with Dominic Fortini.
Inbound side of the Kennedy already emptying out, but a few minor slowdowns begin at Ogden. 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 12 in from the junction, 8 and looking good in the inbound express. Meanwhile, on the inbound side of the Stevenson, a few delays sticking around between State and Lakeshore. 35 minutes from 355 into the drive. Inbound Ryan, 21 minutes from 95th into downtown. Watch for minor delays eastbound side of Jane Addams between Roselle and Meacham this morning. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
For a long time, Turnkey IT has been providing solutions to AM 560 business owner. It's a name that you've come to know and trust. Turnkey IT takes care of your technology and has a plan that fits your company's IT budget and network needs. Interested in moving some of or all of your business to the cloud? Well, Turnkey IT can migrate your network to Microsoft's Office 365. Hey, need someone to call when you can't print or have lost a file or need tech support? Turnkey IT's got you covered. Office site backup? Check. On-site support? Check. Help desk support? Check. Turnkey's IT staff is professional, friendly, punctual, and will solve all your technical problems immediately or even after normal business hours, all for a fixed monthly rate. Turnkey IT knows your network is truly the heartbeat of your company. So focus on your business and leave the technical stuff to the pros. Visit turnkey.pro today for a plan that fits your needs. That's turnkey.pro.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. If you have a pre-existing condition, a canceled plan, or your premium increased, now's the time to get covered. 2016 open enrollment begins on November 1st and ends on January 31st. During this 90-day window, you cannot be denied coverage. Depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. The new healthcare law is very complicated and you do need guidance. It costs you nothing to use a broker, so why not tap into my expertise?
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
It's easy to take your commercial HVAC system for granted. It's always there, keeping your building comfortably warm or cool. Until you have a system failure. With another unforgiving Chicago winter just around the corner, now's the time to have a comprehensive review of your mechanical HVAC system. And you don't want just anyone. You want Air Comfort, Chicagoland's leading mechanical professionals. For over 80 years, Air Comfort has delivered its customers the best trained and highly skilled team of award-winning technicians. That's why Air Comfort is recognized as Star Certified by the MSCA, a designation achieved by only 2% of contractors nationwide. With a service fleet of more than 80 fully equipped vehicles, chances are that an Air Comfort technician is nearby. Schedule your system check by calling now, 708-345-1900. That's 708-345-1900 or online at aircomfort.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Talking about the drones, because I can see you. Our collective right to privacy is gone when the drone was invented, but that's all right because now you have to register them. I think it's a big money grab. But Ralph has a comment. Ralph from Rantoul. Good morning, Ralph.
Morning, Amy. Bruce.
Hi.
More of a question than really a comment. I'm just concerned a little bit. Now, will this new drone law also apply to people who speak for great lengths of time in monotonous tones? And will it also apply to Jesse Jackson, who seems to have lost all of his former spark? And, in fact, maybe his certificate for alliteration has expired as well.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
No, it's an AA rhyme scheme. Well, it's also alliteration as well. Jesse Jackson actually came up with the term African American.
He did?
Oh, absolutely.
I did not know that.
That was pretty good. But that was like that's how he peaked. I have a question for Ralph and for you.
Mm-hmm.
In the new Peanuts movie, I'm imagining Charlie Brown flying a drone and not a kite, updating it. And also,
yes,
when I was growing up, we always believed, because I saw when I was growing up, and probably Ralph too, the Jetsons.
I loved the
they were in
Jetsons.
flying cars.
Jane was hot.
Jane,
Hello?
his wife, ding, 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 ding. So here's the
daughter
thing.
Judy.
His boy Elroy. Okay.
What
so
was the
here's
dog in the Jetsons? What was his name? Mm-hmm.
Rastro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rastro.
So here's the thing.
Elroy.
I thought we all thought that by the year 2000, we were all going to be drive flying cars.
Well,
driving
we're not.
flying cars.
But I can tell you what people are doing in 2016. And you know what that is?
What are they doing?
Going on an all-exclusive trip to Los Cabos, Mexico. That's where Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, you, the listeners, we're heading there April 2nd through April 9th. We'll be staying at the Secrets Puerto Los Cabos Golf and Spa Resort. It's an all-inclusive, all-suites resort, all ocean view rooms. It opened in December of 2013. Now get this, I've been on property. Top of the line. It has 8 restaurants, 4 bars, serving unlimited premium drinks, a 24-hour day room service. The resort has 2 sparkling pools and access to 3 miles of pristine beaches. And this is the best part. This would be a great, great Christmas present. And for you golfers out there, listen up. Adjacent to the resort, and I mean literally, you can see the golf course. It's been in between your room and the ocean. It's gorgeous. Rolling hills. 2 9-hole golf courses designed by Jack Nicklaus and Greg Normus. Greg Norman, excuse me.
Greg is enormous.
He is enormous. So join us in Cabo.
Shark.
Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com, keyword escape. The price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is incredible and exclusive to us, so don't miss out. This trip sells out, Dan, I keep calling you Dan, Bruce. This trip sells out.
You want me on that trip with you, don't you?
Yeah, maybe I can take you.
With me.
Yeah.
Take me as your cabana boy. I'll serve you Mai Tais.
Trip sells out every year, so do it sooner rather than later. Really, this does make a great Christmas gift because who wants to buy another sweater or socks or something? Give something that's meaningful.
Get a sweater and Cabo.
A trip to Secrets Puerto Los Cabos Golf and Spa Resort. We're going April 2nd through the 9th. This hotel is fantastic. This resort, I should say. It is a beautiful spa. And the golf courses are fantastic. 560theanswer.com. Keyword escape, and we'll see you in Cabo in April.
I want you to kill every golfer on the course.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key.
Golfers! They're great kid, not golfers. The little brown furry rodents.
We can do that.
Aye.
We don't even have to have a reason.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're here reporting live from Santa's workshop. Santa, thanks for taking time in the busiest season of the year.
Oh, we stay busy all year round.
How do you stay so busy without getting sick?
That's easy. My elves and I take balance of nature.
Balance of nature? What's that?
Using the magic of modern technology, Balance of Nature has taken whole fruits and vegetables and stuffed them into little capsules.
And they keep you healthy?
Works for me. What do you think, Gimbal?
Well, I take it, and I haven't had a sick day in over 3,000 years.
So make sure to stuff your stockings with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies.
There you have it from the man himself. Stuff your stockings with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies to stay healthy all year round. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO to get a free stocking stuffer with your first order.
Have a Merry Christmas and a healthy New Year.
This is Dan Proft with an Upstream idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Policy Institute. 97. That's the percentage of Chicago Teachers Union members who voted yes in a recent mock vote. Yes, they voted. They are prepared to go out on strike for the second time in 4 years. The annual average CPS teacher salary is just under $80,000. And that's before you include their health insurance benefits and guaranteed seven-figure pensions. The bankrupt, junk-rated Chicago public schools spend more than $15,000 annually per pupil, and yet 75% of 4th and 8th graders are neither proficient in reading nor math. This in a system of nearly 400,000 students. So who's the bad guy here? Is it the teachers union or the mayor's office? Yes, there are no white hats in the story of central planners from City Hall fighting with the central planners from the teachers union over who gets to be the lead central planner at CPS. If the teachers strike, they deserve to be unlocked from their jobs. CPS students deserve access to schools that will give them the opportunity to earn an education that sets them on a course for success in life. The only way that happens is if the adults inside CPS, the parents, and the adults outside CPS, state political leaders, change the flow of money away from central planners and to families so that they may make the same choices for their children that Tiny Dancer did for his kids matriculating at the University of Chicago Lab School. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next, a ban has been lifted. Gay and bisexual men can soon donate blood, but there's a catch. We'll take your phone calls next. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Or Amy and Bruce. Dan is away on vacation. It's foggy. We can't see him. But with 40 degrees outside, we expect that fog to continue through the morning. 3 are dead after a massive pileup on I-49 outside Texarkana, Arkansas. State troopers say an initial crash this morning closed the southbound lanes of the interstate. Then shortly after that, another crash closed the northbound lanes. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is being arraigned at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He faces a court-martial after being captured by the Taliban when he left his post in Afghanistan in June of 2009. The Centers for Disease Control is looking into a second outbreak of different DNA strands of E. coli linked to Chipotle. This time, 5 in North Dakota, Kansas, and Oklahoma have gotten sick. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump not letting up on his attacks against Hillary Clinton. At a rally in Michigan, he took aim at the former Secretary of State over her claim that ISIS is using a video of him for recruitment.
And it turned out to be a lie. She's a liar. No, it turned out to be a lie.
turned out to be a lie.
On Fox and Friends this morning, fellow candidate Chris Christie had some advice for both Trump and Clinton.
They need to stop being so self-consumed and start talking about what people really want to hear, which is how we're going to keep the homeland safe and protected.
No felony crime was committed in the treatment of a black woman formerly from Chicago's suburbs who died in a Texas jail last summer. A grand jury in Waller County, Texas, reached no decision on whether a state trooper who arrested the 28-year-old, Sandra Bland, should face charges. The grand jury will reconvene again in January. A major ratings agency downgrades the Chicago Public Schools' already dismal credit rating, citing the district's precarious financial situation and unbalanced 2016 budget. Chicago fire officials mopping up after an extra alarm warehouse fire on the city's northwest side. It happened in the 3000 block of North Rockwell. No one was hurt. An Oak Brook-based McDonald's is testing a new menu item with a familiar name. McDonald's in Cleveland are testing a macaroni and cheese dish. It can be ordered as a side or with a Happy Meal instead of fries. The mac and cheese side costs $1.75 for a limited time. No word on when or if Oak Brook-based McDonald's will take it national. Chicago sports, Brooklyn over the Bulls, 105-102. The news service of Cabela's. Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates and Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands or get the gift that always fits. Cabela's gift cards. Don't miss Cabela's Christmas sale. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't so sure the president's strategy in ISIS will work.
Isn't it reasonable that if somebody's on the no-fly list, they shouldn't be allowed to buy a gun? That's the kind of stuff that's going to defeat ISIS, isn't it? Now, that's what I call prioritizing. Holy cow. Lord help us.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Find your last-minute gifts at Cabela's Christmas sale in Hoffman Estates in Hammond, Indiana. Shop for amazing deals on all of your favorite brands. Don't miss the Cabela's Christmas sale.
That's Lizbeth. She doesn't know it, but she owes her life to a change in public opinion. Our younger generation of women is turning the tide of public opinion concerning abortion. The most recent statistics show that more women facing unwanted pregnancies are choosing life compared to 15 years ago. Many wonder why, if a pregnant woman and her unborn child are murdered, it's a double homicide. Yet they ask, why isn't abortion a crime? More women now value life, even if their unwanted child is to be placed for adoption, because they may feel like they can never forgive themselves of an abortion, even if the law does. Lake County Right to Life, helping young women choose courage over convenience. LCRTL.org. That's LCRTL.org. Visit Lake County Right to Life on Twitter and Facebook, or call 847-223-7022.
8:36 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. The latest in for Jim. Here's Dominic.
Well, the luck's starting to run out on the inbound Kennedy. We've got a crash knocking out 3 left lanes before you reach Fullerton. That'll tie you up back to California. Mounting times again, 26 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 16 in from the junction, 11 in the inbound Express. Also having some issues on the inbound side of the Stevenson State to Lakeshore, while the inbound Ryan hits the brakes Cermak into the Burns Circle. Traffic answers when you need the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, your commercial HVAC solution provider. Fog this morning. Spotty drizzle as well. Drive with care. 45 for a high temp today and a low of 39 overnight. Currently 39. Next news coming up at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist, whose goal is to protect, preserve, and grow your wealth. Saturday mornings at 7.
Outrage. Oh, yeah. I was driving in my car yesterday when I heard this and thought, you've got to be kidding me. This is a joke. And then I thought, Maybe am I being homophobic? Well, here's the deal. The FDA, after decades, is easing its ban on blood donations. So if you're a gay man, if you are a bisexual man, you can donate blood. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, or send us a text at the turnkey.pro text line 64636. Type in DA and then your comment, or you could call or email us directly from our lovely and brand new AM 560 mobile app, which you can get on your smartphone.
Is this because AIDS has been effectively cured in our lifetime? Because I remember being scared to death in the 1980s that you could get AIDS from a toilet seat.
Oh, yeah, because we didn't know.
Right.
And without information,
or from heterosexual sex, you could have gotten it.
Well, you could.
Well, you still can
get
because
it.
right.
So the ban was put in place at the height of the AIDS crisis back when you were scared and I was scared. That was 1983, and back then it prohibited men from donating blood if they had at any point had sex with another man since 1977. But there's a certain group of gay and bisexual men who went to our government officials and demanded that this ban be lifted. Now, is there a blood shortage? Not really. Could it help? According to one UCLA liberal professor, it could.
No, because with the shale revolution, where there's no shortage anymore.
He said a year-long deferral process would lead to 185,800 additional donors who would likely give 317,000 pints of blood each year. Political correctness run amok.
You first. You first, Amy.
All right. So when I heard this, I was outraged, and then I felt a little homophobic because I do not want to have a gay or bisexual man's blood transferred into my body. And here is why. Because this is what the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control said. Donated blood is screened for HIV, but the virus can take about 10 days to be detected in the bloodstream. So there is a chance. And again, according to the CDC, 1 in 147 million cases, a person could contract HIV from a blood transfusion. It's 1 in 1.47 million cases. But who wants to be that?
147 or 1.47?
No, it is 1.47 million cases. But who wants to be that one?
Can I ask you a question?
Who wants to be at risk? And
what are the odds that, say you're the typical Gold Coast couple with one child, a designer child, okay, and you...
Wait, why do you say designer child?
It's a pejorative. I'm trying to be insulting. Okay.
Because they picked the surrogate mom?
Whatever. And
I want the tall blonde.
And you got a 5 or 6 year old kid who you won't let go to the park unless you have a drone overhead watching them, or a nanny or whatever, because you're afraid that the kid could be abducted. Whereas when I was growing up, we were allowed to go from dusk to dawn, or from dawn to dusk, stay outside, and come home much later when I was 6 years old. So what are the odds that a kid is going to be abducted? Is it more or less than 1 in 1.47 million? Because I always love being lectured by liberals who won't take any kind of risk, as far as their children or whatever, but are quite willing, for political correctness' sake, to take risks on Muslims coming into the country or on blood from gay people.
312-642-5600 is the number. Now, the FDA was not able to comment about when gay and bisexual men could begin giving blood, but here's the only stipulation. You have to fill out a form when you go to the blood bank, and you have to prove somehow, some way, which I don't think they're going to be able to prove this, say you had not had any sexual contact with another man for at least a year before donating blood. Now, I am going to sound sinister here, but sexual deviance is what comes to mind when I look at some of the gay couples that I know. Not all of them, but the ones that I know always have a little something on the side. So do I trust them to tell the truth when they fill out a form?
Wait a minute. You think the men have something on the side?
Yeah,
so basically you would allow bisexual women or gay women to do
women can still donate. If you're a lesbian woman, you can donate blood. If you are a transgender man or woman, you are not banned from donating blood. Quote, are you ready for this? The FDA said yesterday, your gender is whatever you report it at the time of donation. So maybe today I feel like a man. So I'm going to put down man. I mean, this is just a bunch of liberal gobbledygook. and no one's protecting us. 312-642-5600 is the number. Let's go to Greg in Morton Grove. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, Amy. I just was going to say I donate blood very regularly, like to the day when I become eligible. So I'm very familiar with the whole blood donation process because I'm O negative and they need O negative blood all the time. But when I go in, I have to answer these big, long questionnaires. And anybody who says that you can determine whether you're a man or a woman when you're filling out the questionnaire has obviously never donated blood. Because they ask you questions like, have you been pregnant in the last 6 months? And you have to choose either yes or you have to click I am a male. The other thing is that my wife spent like a year over in England in the 1980s when she was in college. And because she was over in England, even though she's O negative and they really could use her blood, she's not allowed to donate because of mad cow disease, but they're going to let somebody who engages in risky behavior donate blood. I have to answer these questions when I go in that ask, have you ever, had sex with another man? When I'm filling out the questionnaire.
And you find that offensive, even the question?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm glad they're checking. What bothers me is that they're not going to let my wife donate because of potential mad cow leftover from the 1980s.
All right, thanks,
But
Greg.
somebody can walk in there and...
He's right.
Thanks, Greg, for the phone call. It's
He
true.
is right.
We're putting political correctness above safety, and I'm not for it. I'm not homophobic, but I feel like I sound homophobic right now. But even my liberal lady friends who are just all about giving to those who don't have less and making everybody feel equal, they're even against this because what if it happened to their child? Cynthia in Albany Park. Good morning, Cynthia.
Hi, wasn't it the CDC that sent Ebola strains to the wrong laboratories and didn't find out until almost, 6 to 8 months later? One mistake, too late. Once it happens, now what? Thank you.
Thanks, Cynthia, for the phone call. Let's go to Joe, who joins us from Schaumburg, or in Schaumburg. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
My sister back in the 80s had to get blood after childbirth, and she got that tainted blood with the hepatitis C. And now, today, she needs a liver, and she's on the liver list. But down the road with this with the blood that they want to get from these the males, homosexuals, and whatnot, there could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road that the recipients of the blood that they got from this pool, they'll find out that it is tainted because I believe hepatitis C that she got didn't show up for years, like maybe for 10 years.
Yeah, thank you so much for the call. They also, if you recently had a tattoo, a recent blood transfusion, or a piercing within a year, you have to wait a year, I should say, before you're able to donate blood.
I guess the reason is because the risk is so much less now than it was in the 80s.
Well,
Am I right
in the
about
80s,
this?
it was
Okay.
1 in 2,500 cases. Now it's 1 in 1.47 million cases. But what if you're the one, Bruce, or your son or your wife is the one?
Well, what's the risk that you're going to get something else from somebody else?
It's not, but they don't have to do it. They're doing this because they collected more than 700 public comments, and that's how they made their final decision. Because some gay men and bisexual men felt discriminated against because they can't be like everybody else and donate blood.
Look,
this is not the time for political correctness. This is an easy solution. Keep the ban.
Look,
don't lift the ban.
I'm not for letting women in combat because they're not up to snuff according to all the studies. So I'm not politically correct, but I do want to know what the odds are.
And that's a very solid question. And let's ask Sue because she knows more than we do. She joins us from Evanston. Good morning, Sue.
Hi. Well, I'm a physician, and I'm actually a gynecologist. And I understand your concerns, Amy, but you do not understand the number of heterosexual high-risk behaviors that are being engaged in. And the bans are never going to be perfect, but there's certainly a lot of heterosexuals out there that are
engage in risky behavior.
Engaging in very risky behavior, multiple partners. I mean, in my practice, I've seen more STDs in the last 3 or 4 years than I've seen in the prior 20.
But Sue, can I ask the question? I mean, everybody's concerned about AIDS, and there are other things you can get. So when you talk about the risk of AIDS, it's like in a class by itself, right?
Well, it is, but they travel. I mean, people who get STDs tend to come in groups, and so people that are engaging in high risk behavior. I mean, I understand that it is a non-curable disease, although there are certainly treatments that are much more beneficial nowadays. But I don't think not every gay man is engaging in high-risk behavior, and not every heterosexual man is engaging in low-risk behavior. So to make maybe we should have differing screening processes, but I don't think that you're really making a huge you're not increasing your risk significantly by increasing a pool of people that voluntarily wanted to donate blood.
Thanks so much for your phone call. Didn't change my mind, but I appreciate the information.
Because, baby, now we got bad blood. It used to be bad blood. So take a look at what you've done. That maybe now we got bad blood. Hey!
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, dual Miss Universes. Is it possible? And could Steve Harvey soon be getting a Colombian necktie? We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast, Mr. Wolf. Are we going to have snow on Christmas? Don't
no,
disappoint the kiddies.
Not going to have snow because of global warming, of course. And the forecast for today. Oh, should I give the forecast right now?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Today, area of fog this morning. Actually, multiple areas of fog with spotty drizzle, otherwise rather cloudy, a high of 45. Tonight, cloudy with a little rain toward dawn, a low of 39. And on Christmas Day, times of clouds and sun, high of 44, low of Friday night of 34. Now it's time for the traffic with Dominic Fortini.
Inbound side of the Kennedy Jam solid Addison to Fullerton. 3 left lanes are blocked in that stretch because of an earlier accident. Already 35 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 25 in from the junction. Express lane's a better choice, but they're heavy division into Ohio at 15 minutes. Inbound side of the Stevenson, Suffering State to Lakeshore. 35 minutes from 355 into the drive. 25 in if you're traveling down the tri-state, while the inbound Ryan slows Cermak into the Burn Circle right up about 20 minutes, 95th into downtown. Northbound tri-state hits the brakes north, right around North Avenue into the Grand Avenue curve. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
And I am so excited to tell everybody who's considered buying a MyPillow but hasn't that now with the buy one, get one free offer, you'll also get a 60-day money-back guarantee. Basically, you can try MyPillow risk-free. You have nothing to lose and could be enjoying your best sleep ever. What are you waiting for? It's so important to get a great night's sleep. I got a MyPillow. My wife's got a MyPillow. She told me yesterday, because I've been on the air this week, that she wants some more MyPillows. Okay. So can you get me a couple of them, Amy? Okay. MyPillow helps with snoring, headaches, neck pain, insomnia, allergies, and more. Plus, it's washable, keeps its shape, and gives you support where you need it most. That's why it's the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. For the MyPillow buy one, get one free offer and 60-day money-back guarantee, visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. Please use the promo code AMY. Do it now. This offer is for a limited time. 800-489-0201 or online at mypillow.com. Promo code AMY, 800-489-0201.
I've been taking it, and I'm actually feeling better. I know that I'm not coughing anymore, and I was coughing all the time.
I notice my body feels better.
I have diabetes. I had my blood work done, and I had really good numbers.
I want to thank you for your product and all that. It's been great.
I got my kids taking them now. Got my parents taking them. My brothers, my best friends. Got everybody on them.
I love the product, and I love Dr. Howard. I trust him. I feel safe. I think his product is superb. I'm going to continue with it.
Get started early on your New Year's resolution with our best price of the year. Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. If you have a pre-existing condition, a canceled plan, or your premium increased, now's the time to get covered. 2016 open enrollment begins on November 1st and ends on January 31st. During this 90-day window, you cannot be denied coverage. Depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. The new healthcare law is very complicated and you do need guidance. It costs you nothing to use a broker, so why not tap into my expertise?
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
We all heard about it, the colossal universal size mistake from our very own Steve Harvey.
Columbia!
Yes, but he read the cue card wrong. And now the president of Columbia, he has spoken, and he is not happy with Steve Harvey or the pageant in general. And he said that we should have 2 Miss Universes. That's possible because of the mistake that was made. I mean, it really was the shortest reign in history. And people in the Philippines, though, were very excited once they learned that their girl was Miss Universe.
In the Philippines, where there hasn't been a winner in 42 years, it was almost like a Christmas miracle.
By the way, the universe is crediting Steve Harvey for the biggest publicity since the Big Bang. So, the universe, 30% of Republicans think Miss Agrabah should have won Miss Universe.
And that's the Sofia Vergara lookalike?
And,
well, this is what she had to say.
Everything happens for a reason, so I'm happy.
So she's happy, and so is Miss Philippines.
Non-traditional crowning moment, isn't it? Yeah, it's very 2015.
She's just happy she got the crown and bouquet of flowers back from Miss Columbia.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
There are 2 kinds of pain. Pain that goes away and the worst kind, chronic pain. If you suffer from chronic pain, life is not complete and it can be miserable. Unfortunately, most people use narcotics that mask the pain. You need to find the source of the chronic pain and get relief.
This is Dr. Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. We're serious players in the management of pain, and our team are national leaders as well as being educators in the treatment of pain. We will work with you to diminish or eliminate your pain and help you get your life back. You know, there's a nationwide narcotics epidemic, and people are too quick to mask over chronic pain instead of looking for the cause and treating or eliminating the pain. Contact us. We will help you.
Go to mypainchicago.com. Call and make an appointment with some of the best pain people in the nation, located here in Chicago. mypainchicago.com. You or someone you know suffers in the suffering of chronic pain. mypainchicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
Guys, Christmas is coming. This year, go with a win-win. Give her something that will make her feel hot and heat up your birth holiday. The super warm, world-famous Hoodie Footy by Pajama Graham. Because let's face it, it's hard to be hot when she's freezing cold. The Hoodie Footy is the, it's not like the Hoochie Coochie, right? It's the Hoodie Footy. It is the ultimate solution. It combines the warmth of a hoodie with the coziness of footy pajamas. Head-to-toe warmth means she'll be hot in no time. You can find all Hoodie Footy styles at pajamagram.com. Each Hoodie Footy has a drawstring hood. Perhaps most important, though, is the full zip front. I know Bill Belichick wears one of them, I believe. And I'm Pajama Boy, so I'd want to wear one, too. Imagine getting to open that, especially if you opt for the sweet and sexy gift set. Includes a Hoodie Footy and Sexy Midnight Fantasy. Buy both today at pajamagram.com and save $60. You don't even have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging. Christmas delivery is guaranteed. Visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. That's 1-800-GIVE-PJS. Make it a Hoodie Footy holiday. and tell them Dan and Amy sent you.
A research institute is seeking a geophysicist with internal title principal engineer to expand the industry's knowledge of the growth and propagation of hydraulic fractures and flow behavior in fractured shale, advance understanding and optimization of gas extraction from shale, and analyze passive seismic data and seismic modeling software as well as the Petrol platform. Candidates must possess a master's degree in petroleum engineering plus 2 years experience in analysis of passive seismic data and seismic modeling software and the Petrol platform. A PhD degree in petroleum engineering with no experience is acceptable in lieu of the experience requirement, and permanent U.S. work authorization. Please send cover letter and resume to Jeremy Odehall, Director, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018. Once again, cover letter and resume to Jeremy Odehall, Director, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018.
Well, we've had a wonderful and quite entertaining time at the Chicago Morning Answer Studios. Thanks so much, Bruce Wolf, for sitting in for Dan Proft.
Glad to be here.
Also sitting in for someone is Marcus Brown, our program director, who is here for Cesar Perez, our executive producer, and to David Stripling, our technical director extraordinaire. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say hello once again to Mike Scott.
Bruce and Amy, here are the stories we're watching right now. A family of Sandra Bland slams the grand jury probe of her jail cell death. Bond denied for a man charged with the long-ago murder of his wife. Transition to the SAT test for juniors in Illinois